Followers of the legendary Johnny Genesis North, we are releasing a must-have collection of Johnny North merchandise in our store at merch.ringsidereport.net, starting with our limited edition Johnny Genesis North 3/4 sleeve t-shirt. With a unique design capturing Johnny in action, this tee exudes raw energy and intensity through its versatile 3/4 sleeves for any weather. Stand with our legendary co-host, Johnny North. Make a bold statement in the wrestling community by getting yours today, exclusively at merch.ringsidereport.net.
The discipline of jiu-jitsu, the elegance of a perfect pour. Introducing the jiu-jitsu-inspired shaker pint glass. Crafted for the martial artist in you. 16 ounces of pure elegance, perfect for post-training refreshment or a sophisticated cocktail evening. Durable, stylish, versatile. Not just a glass, but a testament to your dedication. Celebrate your passion with every sip. The Jiu-Jitsu Shaker Pint Glass. Cheers to mastery. Available now in our store. Go to merch.ringsidereport.net and get yours now.
Strength in every sip.
Here's a programming note from the Ringside Report Network. Every Friday, join Dave Simon along with pro wrestler Johnny Genesis North as they break down the week that was pro wrestling on Wrestling Uncensored. Join them live starting after WWE Smackdown and during AEW Rampage at 10 p.m. Eastern, right here, or as an audio podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to share this broadcast and review our podcasts on Apple Podcasts. It really helps us out. Why not become a member of the Ringside Report universe? Go right now before the show starts to membership.ringsidereport.net. That's membership.ringsidereport.net.
Each and every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, dive deep into the heart of MMA with Ringside Report MMA. Join seasoned analysts Dave Simon, Fred Garcia, and my good friend AJ D'Alexio as they dissect every fight, analyze strategies, and reveal their top betting predictions. From main events to prelims, our trio deep dives into the strengths, weaknesses, and potential game changers for each fighter. Looking to place a bet? Benefit from the expertise of our analysts and get an edge over the competition. Discover lesser-known facts, training camp secrets, and behind-the-scenes tidbits that only our seasoned crew can deliver. Share your fight predictions and be featured in the broadcast. For both new fans and longtime MMA aficionados, Ringside Report MMA is the key to unlocking a richer UFC viewing experience. Become an MMA insider. Don't miss out on our exclusive content. Subscribe now and ensure you ring that bell for timely notifications.
Before we dive into today's action-packed broadcast, check out ringsidereport.net. Explore a wide range of exclusive articles and commentary that are specifically designed for the fans of pro wrestling and MMA. Did you miss a broadcast? No worries. We've expanded them all on our website. And don't forget to hit our store for exclusive merch and other must-have items, ringsidereport.net. Where the real action is.
We've got Dave's picks, which means I'm going to give you picks, and on the site, it'll say, like, minus 200 or something, but then I'll call my buddies at Bet99. I'll be like, hey, could we give it a little better? And it'll be like minus 150, so there'll be more value.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're going to add value to the picks. We're going to get boosted odds at Bet99 for the Ringside Report universe. For all the viewers, we're going to give you picks, and then we're going to be like, there's a number here on this at Bet99, but maybe wait till Saturday morning, and there'll be a better number because we're going to give you those boosted odds. They're a sponsor, and I want them to do well, and they're helping the show and all of that, but at the same time, I want to give good picks and take them for everything they got, baby. But they got.
Well, that's what it comes down to.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
it's a weird relationship because I'm friendly with them and I want to do well and I want them to do well, but I also want us to do well, and for us to do well, we need to take money from them, which is part of the whole. It's part of the game, and they like it, and it's all fun. So we're gonna get some boosted odds, and we'll see how much we can boost them for the viewers, so we can make a lot of cash. The Rock is back. It's WrestleMania season. It's Wrestling Uncensored. Let's go. We are here. Are we here? I think we're here. Johnny, are you here? You there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Am I here?
Yeah.
All right. Good. Great. I feel very slow, but all right.
Yeah. I don't know. There's
as long as you can hear me.
Internet stuff going on. I think you're good. I think I'm good. I think we're on. So we're on. I think the Rock did some sort of electrocution on the system. I don't know. Too electrifying, John. Too electrifying. The Rock is back. Again.
Yeah, I didn't expect it would end up this way. I was very surprised, but in a good way. I'm glad we got it the way we have it now. The main events are set, and we're on the road to WrestleMania now, officially.
Yeah. I mean, it really feels like the road to WrestleMania. It really felt like a big show tonight on SmackDown. That main event was a big deal. It felt big time tonight. They announced a few things. I mean, they announced one match officially, but it seems like some other stuff is in the works and definitely happening. They announced Bayley versus Io Sky, but you got to figure The Rock versus Roman Reigns is penciled in, and Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins is likely for WrestleMania after what we saw tonight in the main event of SmackDown. And I want to start the show with that here, Johnny. I want to get right into it. Give a shout-out to everybody tuning in here live on YouTube, on Rumble, on Twitch, on Twitter, all the things. However you watch the Ringside Report Network, good evening or good morning or good afternoon, whatever you're doing. However you're watching the show, we appreciate you. Shout out to all the members over at join.ringsidereport.net. I see Leor, Tiffy Time, Angelo. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis. And I know everybody's excited because The Rock is back. We're going to talk about The Rock. We're going to talk a little bit about Vince McMahon. Unfortunately, there's more Vince news. You know, Triple H spoke after the Rumble. We haven't talked about that yet, John. Talk about that. CM Punk, of course, is hurt.
Yep.
That was massive news this week. Andrade's on Raw. Brock Lesnar plans have leaked. Supposed plans that were in place for Brock Lesnar for the Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and WrestleMania. Some big matches that we're not getting. That I think it's a little disappointing that we're not getting them, but given the circumstances, understandable. So a lot going on in the WWE. AEW is, chugging along, doing their stuff. Swerve Strickland and Rob Van Dam was the main event of Dynamite this week, which was kind of cool. Good match. Cool to see RVD, right? Everybody loves Rob Van Dam. Johnny loves Rob Van Dam, right?
I enjoyed the main event of Dynamite. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
The rest of Dynamite, here or there.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about everything, but again, let's start with Roman Reigns. Let's start with the Bloodline, with The Rock, with the Cody Rhodes, and all the people. The Roman Reigns comes out with James Uso and Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman to the ring. They're there to do a promo. Roman spends the majority of his promo time on Seth Rollins, talking about Seth Rollins, calls him his little brother, says that championship, it's just a bunch of guys that he beat competing for it. He calls it the B-League. Roman saying, how can you call yourself the guy when you're wearing your wife's clothes every week? Which I thought was a funny line, given Seth's ridiculous attire.
Yeah.
It's just funny the way Seth dresses, and to make fun of it. It was a funny line there, because he does kind of dress like Becky. And Becky did kind of start dressing that way, and then Seth just kind of jumped on. It's a stylist that they have, that they share.
It's cute.
Yeah, it's adorable. And Roman also says, I may work half the dates, but I still make twice as much. And he's talking about the money that he makes compared to Seth. So I thought it was a good promo on Seth Rollins. The problem is, I don't think they're building a match towards Roman and Seth Rollins. Roman, were you surprised at how many shots Roman took at Seth before turning his ire to Cody? And eventually, he said a couple things about Cody, but Cody came out pretty quickly, and Roman spent most of his talking time talking about Seth. Do you think they're building towards that at some point?
I feel that Roman had to fire back on Seth because Seth took a lot of shots, not just at Roman, but at the WWE Championship. Mm-hmm. So I think it was fair for Roman to not only take shots at Seth, but the fact that he's an inferior champion to him. I think it was important for Roman to say those things. And it's always there. It's always in their back pocket, in a sense. They could always go back to that feud whenever they want. It's not going to be now, but they can always rekindle that whenever they need to.
Yeah, it's always something that's there. There's this history with the Shield, and I think you could always go back to that match, and it's always a big match because they're two of the biggest stars in the company, and there's a lot of history there. And Seth did talk about Roman a lot on Raw. Said that wasn't the real title, that Seth's belt is the real belt, it's the workhorse belt, right? He cut that promo with Cody on Raw this week. Which was a good promo. I liked the Seth and Cody promo this week on Raw. It was good.
Thanks to that promo, we have a different main event than what we were expecting. I don't know about you. After Cody won the Rumble, I'm like, well, I guess The Rock's going to have to wait until next year, it looks like. But things changed in the matter of a few days, I guess.
Yes. Anything can happen in the WWE. And anything did happen, as Cody Rhodes came out and he told Roman Reigns that Roman had cheated him out of the victory at WrestleMania, and he had him beat, and he will beat him one day for that championship, and he disagreed with Seth Rollins' assessment of that belt being the Hollywood belt. He thinks that Roman's championship, that's the belt Bruno Sammartino held and the belt that was taken away from Dusty Rhodes, and Cody wants to win that championship for his father and finish the story. But Cody also saying finish the story isn't just taking the championship, it's taking everything away from Roman Reigns, and he says he took counsel from a variety of people, friends, family, and some WWE legends, and he said he took counsel from one man who knows Roman Reigns very well, cue The Rock, who came out. The Rock, the Dwayne Johnson The Rock, that guy, the eyebrow guy, he comes out, and he shakes hands with Cody, and he hugs Cody, and he says some words to Cody that we don't see or hear, kind of whispers in Cody's ear in the hug, and then Cody leaves. So Cody says, Roman, I'm going to take that belt from you, but just not at WrestleMania. And then Cody leaves, and The Rock stands there and stares at Roman, and they stare at each other, and that's how SmackDown ended. So it seems like we are headed towards The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and Cody Rhodes telling Roman, I will get you at some point, but you are not who I'm choosing for WrestleMania. It looks like Cody choosing Seth Rollins instead, going after that World Heavyweight title at Mania. And then Roman will wrestle The Rock. It was a great segment. It was a great ending to SmackDown tonight. You really can't get much better or bigger in professional wrestling than Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and The Rock in a big promo segment to end a TV show. Doesn't get bigger or better than that. What you just saw, that's going to be their best effort as far as promo, SmackDown, that type of thing. That's going to be one of the better things that you will ever see in pro wrestling, at least in the WWE in this era. That was an all-time legendary segment that we just witnessed. That was massive.
In so many ways, I think this segment will go down in history as one of the most talked about segments of all time. And we're just living it now. That's how incredible this was because, again, I don't think this was the original plan. I think Cody was supposed to face Roman, but due to injuries, due to things working out the way they did, and just the setup that they have now, they realized it's better to go this route. And I'm very happy. I don't know about you. I'm very happy. This is kind of what I wanted. I could see a lot of people being very upset about this. And I understand that too. Because I think a lot of people were looking forward to Cody Roman again. And it will happen. It just won't happen at WrestleMania, which I think is the right move. Right now, we have The Rock. Let's get this done. We made this one even longer than Cody and Roman 2. And Cody and Roman 2 can happen. It just doesn't have to happen at WrestleMania.
No. I don't need it to happen at WrestleMania. I'm thrilled with this outcome. This is exactly what I wanted. These are the main events. These make sense to me. I thought we would see Punk versus Seth, but obviously with Punk's injury, he's going to be out for a significant amount of time, and we're going to talk about Punk and the injury and what it means for his career, because I think it is a significant step here in the story of CM Punk. We'll talk about. But
just another thing to bring up, like, you kind of worry a bit for Cody here, because I felt going against Roman, like, he clearly is going to win then if he lost last year. But facing Seth, who he's beaten 3 times in a row, I feel Seth's probably going to win that one. That's really going to suck for Cody to fail twice with his Rumble picks, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like Cody will beat Seth. And it's hard to logic Cody not beating Seth. Cody beat Seth 3 times in a row, and he beat him in Hell in a Cell when he had a torn pec, when his body looked crazy, all bruised up and terrible looking. He then went out for surgery after the match and was gone for months. Now, he beat Seth under those circumstances in Hell in a Cell. How am I supposed to believe that Seth Rollins, given how injured he is currently, for real, how is Seth actually going to beat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? Like, I have a hard time believing it. I think he's going to have a good show of it. He'll put on a, valiant effort. But in the end, I think the match will be Cody with his hand raised. I think that's got to be the call. And Matthew Henley raising an interesting point. Damian Priest will cash in on Cody and Seth. I think Damian may cash in on Cody and ruin the story. Yeah, I could see that happening for sure. I think Priest was going to cash in on whoever won that match. I thought it would be Punk or Seth. I thought Priest would cash in on one of those guys. But Cody makes sense too. If Cody wins, Priest cashes in and maybe takes the belt from him or doesn't. Cody just super triumphant at the end of WrestleMania, night 1. If it's even the main event of night 1, because I'm hearing that it might be Becky and Rhea the main event night 1, and then night 2 would be Roman and Rock. So they wouldn't even go on last on either night.
Well, here's an issue I have, and it's just because they said it during the Rumble twice, right? They said whoever won the Rumble would go on to main event WrestleMania. So by what they said, Bayley and Io should main event night 1.
Okay.
However, and I think a lot of people know, like, Becky and Rhea would definitely main event over them, though.
Probably. And then whoever wins the Rumble main events WrestleMania doesn't really add up if The Rock is there and he's going to wrestle Roman Reigns, and neither of them have won a Royal Rumble, and they're clearly going to main event one of the nights, and there were 2 Royal Rumbles. So mathematically, Bayley and Cody can't, Bayley can't main event night 1 and Cody can't main event night 2 because Rock and Roman are there.
Well, it goes back to the logic is that we have 3 main events tonight.
Yeah, they call everything a main event at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Even though there's only one match that closes the show. Yeah. We know what the real main event is, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we're looking at what's probably going to close it, it's probably going to be Cody's going to close night 1, and I think Roman and Rock will close night 2. Those are the big matches.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Becky and Rhea, though, night 1. I don't know if Cody and Seth do it. I don't know if they give it to them.
It's a better ending if Cody wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he wins. But I guess, if he doesn't win, maybe don't main event.
But if he wins and then Damian Priest cashes in, that's not a great ending.
That's not a good ending, yeah.
You know?
So I wouldn't main event that.
Yeah. I'd probably main event with Becky beating Rhea Ripley. Or Rhea Ripley beating Becky. Either way, I think the fans will be happy.
Either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. People like them both, right? I don't think people will be mad if Becky loses to Rhea. I think, honestly, people might be mad if Becky beats Rhea. If anything. Like, I don't think they will be, but I think some wrestling fans might be like, enough with Becky, Rhea, you know. But maybe other wrestling fans will be like, enough with Rhea. She's been champion for a long time. Becky. People get tired of the same person over and over again, winning things and being on top. I hear that a lot. I don't really feel that way, but I hear it a lot, right? Like, it's enough of this person. Let's give this person a chance. It's like, well, but this person's really good. Why not just keep them on top forever? You know? That's my feeling on stuff like that. Like, I think Becky and Rhea are both great, and whoever wins, it doesn't really matter because, you know, whatever. Rhea can lose the title at some point, or just keep having a crazy run and beat Becky at Mania because Rhea's great. You could give her the win over Becky at Mania and, you know, or give Becky a big win over Rhea. Either way, they're both great. They deserve it. I think, and they also deserve to main event a night of WrestleMania because they're both fantastic, you know. But hey, so Cody and Seth aren't bad either. But what are you gonna do? Not everybody can main event WrestleMania. It's not a 7-night show, thankfully. Let's not start adding more nights to WrestleMania. It's already 2, which is crazy.
I mean, when you think about it, it's 3 if you count SmackDown as part of WrestleMania because we still get the Battle Royals on SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
So,
I guess.
And whoever doesn't make WrestleMania probably wrestles on SmackDown too. So it's kind of like the pre-show, in a sense, SmackDown to WrestleMania.
Yeah. Cody says he still wants Roman's belt, not at Mania. Him saying that, does he expect Rock to just lose? He's like, let Rock have a pop at you and we'll see. You know?
Pretty much. That's what it sounded like. Yeah, well, give The Rock a chance, whatever. But I can understand, but it makes sense with the story. He says, I want to take everything from you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the best way to do it. Like, Roman would lose the head of the table if he lost to The Rock.
Yeah.
So that's actually a great idea by Cody by doing that.
He would no longer be tribal chief.
Yeah.
So The Rock is there to take that from him, and then Cody's there to pick up the pieces and take the WWE Championship from him, which we'll see. We'll see. I could see it being WrestleMania 41 to unify the belts with Roman still champion and Cody as world champion.
Sure. I don't know how we'll get. I don't know if we're getting there off WrestleMania, but wait and see.
Yeah. I think there are various ways to get there, you know, if they want to do it. Rock and Roman is the way to go. I think we've talked about this before. We've talked about this match many, many times throughout the years. We both think it's what we wanted, but we also both think that The Rock should lose to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I know a lot of people think that The Rock should beat him, and Roman, he's been champion forever. It's enough with Roman as champion, but realistically, The Rock as WWE champion doesn't really work because working past WrestleMania for him is not feasible. He's got other things to do.
Yeah, well, the main thing is the whole head of the table. I feel like the title is almost secondary in a sense. The head of the table is a bigger deal for them anyways, for the family. I like The Rock losing, fine. I would just love to see a lot of people involved. Get more than just the bloodline involved. Get more of the family involved. They're getting more members already, so why not? They could make this match very interesting by doing that.
Are there names that you'd like to see added to this program? Like who would you want to see there? Rikishi? Like what?
I'd throw in Rikishi. Jacob Fatu apparently is a free agent now. Throw him in there. Throw in Naomi as well. Like, she's part of the family, right? In a sense. So, boom, throw them all in.
Yeah. I'm not against that idea. I don't know what else Naomi's going to be doing. She's now officially on SmackDown. I think there's a lot. Say it again?
SmackDown just got a lot of people, by the way.
Yeah.
You saw what happened?
SmackDown was jam-packed tonight. They have a lot of really good talent. It was a solid show. Roman Rock, massive match, and I think that there's room to do a lot. I like that they didn't speak to each other at all. They didn't address each other directly. You know, they just looked at each other. There were no words exchanged. There was no promo, and I think now you can build to that. We'll see if Roman's on SmackDown next week. They didn't advertise him, so probably not. But at some point, Roman will resurface on SmackDown and have words for The Rock. And also, at some point, you would expect The Rock to return to SmackDown and have words for Roman Reigns. So I think we're going to be seeing The Rock over the next few months leading into WrestleMania a few times. I don't know how much, but he's going to be around to build this match. This wasn't, one spot here on SmackDown and then see you at WrestleMania. I think we're going to see him a few times leading into this, which is cool. To have a program on TV with The Rock and Roman Reigns, the build for this is going to be important. This is something that a lot of wrestling fans, us included, have been waiting for a long time. So they've got a lot of time to do this, and I think they're going to do it correctly. They got Paul Heyman there. They've got The Rock. They've got all the right elements. This is good stuff. And Cody and Seth, we'll see. We'll see. The match will be good. I think Cody should win. Cody losing again at WrestleMania would be like, come on, man. Really? You can't be. It'll be like, Cody can't win the big one. Cody just can't get it done.
No, but Damian Priest, though, like, Cody doesn't even have to lose in a sense. Damian Priest just comes in, cashes in on Seth. I think that was the original plan from the beginning. It's just, Cody's in Punk's spot now in a sense.
Yeah.
So that could happen. It sucks for Cody, but that could definitely happen. However, Cody's going to be WWE champion one day. It's just not going to be at WrestleMania this year.
Do you really think,
People
though,
get over it,
that Cody and Roman was the plan and that The Rock was just something they pulled together in the past 5 or 6 days since the Royal Rumble when Punk got hurt? Everything had to change, and they got The Rock to do a match that he wasn't going to do until next year. I don't really buy that. I think the plan was always Rock Roman. Cody winning the Rumble was just a swerve, and they were going to do something to get us there anyhow. I don't think Cody was ever going to actually wrestle Roman Reigns. I think Cody was always going to choose Seth and was maybe going to, wind up doing a triple threat with Punk and Seth. But I don't think that The Rock would turn around on a dime in a few days and go, yeah, okay, let's do the match then. Oh, Punk's hurt here, I'll step in. I don't think that's happening. I don't think his schedule would allow it. He's got a clear time. And I just said, we expect him to make appearances because, he's got to make appearances. He's got a match at WrestleMania. So I don't buy that Cody was actually going to challenge Roman for WrestleMania. I don't think that was ever going to happen. Because how would The Rock just come in the past week? It's not happening. You know what I mean? That doesn't add up.
Well, again, this goes back to why this segment, we'll look back on this years from now, because I'm sure years from now, the backstage happenings will come out, how this all came together. And then we'll know the story, how things got changed around. I always wanted Rock and Roman and felt Cody. I wouldn't even put Cody in any title match at WrestleMania. That was the original plan I had. But they have a way to do it, and they did it. And I think it works like this. But I agree. Like, I wouldn't have put Cody against Roman. I didn't think it was the match to make. But a lot of people wanted to see that match. And I'm sure a lot of people are very disappointed we're not getting that match again. So I don't think it's that easy of a decision to just be like, oh, no, Cody. I could see them thought about this quite a bit, and they weren't sure about it until maybe a couple of days ago. I wouldn't be surprised about that. They probably went back and forth on this, because I could easily have seen The Rock make an appearance at WrestleMania this year, and then we wait until next year's WrestleMania, because they've done that before in the past. Remember with Rock and Cena, that happened. They did the whole interaction, then they had a match. I could have seen that happening.
But the match is such a commitment, to do that, to make that kind of commitment just on a few days' notice seems unlikely. We'll find out, at some point, the whole story behind it, but there's no way. It didn't make any sense. The Rock came back on Raw on the 1st of January and said head of the table. Like, this was the plan. This was the plan all along. It was always going to be Rock and Roman. Always. And Cody winning was just a smokescreen.
But I'm sure a lot of people feel that this doesn't make any sense. The ones that were rooting for Cody versus Roman, I'm sure a lot of people are like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would you not pick Roman? You said everything, and then you're like, no, I don't want to pick you. People would still say turn that around and be like, nope, that's dumb. So I get it for both arguments. But this is the way things have panned out. I think this is the best way to go about it. And it's still, Cody will get to finish the story. It's going to take some more time.
I think this match makes the most sense. The Rock, the family, the head of the table, the tribal chief, all that stuff. It writes itself.
Should be good television coming up.
Yeah. Jason Pete says, The Rock is 50. If anything, they need to do it now. 51. Yeah. I mean, this is the time. We've been saying it for a long time. Like, they got to do this match, because at some point, Rock is going to be just super old, and it'll be impossible. That's why he cannot do more than one match. Because the last time he wrestled, he got super injured in it, right? Tore some stuff. Like, he was all messed up.
Yeah, but he's more committed to WWE more than ever now. So I wouldn't have worried about another year, because he'd still be around.
Yeah.
He'll be around for another year, and probably a lot more than that. So, and in a year's time, it's not like he's going to break down more so than ever. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. However, we've waited long enough for this match already, and we've seen Cody and Roman. We can kind of wait for that one. Just finally give us this one.
We kind of thought we were going to see it last year.
Exactly.
We kind of thought we might see it the year before. We've been waiting for this for several years now, and they're actually going to do it. WrestleMania 40, The Rock versus Roman Reigns. We're on the road to it. Couldn't be bigger. I, like Triple H, just want to focus on the positive, John. Let's not think about the negatives. Let's just focus on the positives, like the game Triple H did.
Yeah, don't read any lawsuits against you whatsoever. Just close your eyes.
Yeah. Triple H, well, there's no lawsuits against Triple H. The lawsuit is against Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis. And now there's a report from the Wall Street Journal, again, that Vince McMahon is under federal investigation for the sexual assault and sex trafficking. No, these are criminal charges that he's being investigated for, John. There's a civil lawsuit that Janelle Grant, the plaintiff, has filed against Vince. And I had the chance to read the lawsuit and all the details, and they are horrific, John. It is terrible. I don't know if you've read this thing, but I managed to read all the pages, and it was a lot and detailed, and Vince was systematically setting this up, and it seems like he had a pattern of doing this. He knew what he was doing, and it reads like a monster movie. Just horrible. Really bad.
And it gets worse, too.
I mean, what do you mean it gets worse? How does it get worse?
Now with John Laurinaitis saying that he's a victim now?
Yes. John Laurinaitis' lawyer is saying that he is a victim as well.
I don't know if that's going to be a tough one. So what, now there's going to be two different cases now? Oh, but no, it's all against both of them, right? Though they're not with each other, I guess. They're going to defend each other on different sides, I guess.
John Laurinaitis' lawyer, Edward Brennan, to Vice News says Mr. Laurinaitis denies the allegations in the misguided complaint and will be vigorously defending these charges in court, not the media. Like the plaintiff, Mr. Laurinaitis is a victim in this case, not a predator. The truth will come out. Count how many times in the complaint Vince McMahon exerts control over both of them.
Wow.
So, like, Johnny Ace's lawyer and Johnny Ace's defense apparently to all this is going to be, oh, this happened, but Vince made me do it.
So it sounds like.
Fuck.
Maybe you should have hired him twice. That was probably a bad idea.
I'm only a yes man until we go to court, Vince. Then I get scared. Fucking Johnny Ace, man.
Now,
amazing. He's a victim. How is he a victim? How is he a victim? In the lawsuit, it's like, Laurinaitis instructed me to go to his office and perform oral sex on him whenever he asked for it. All the time, oral sex. How is John Laurinaitis a victim if he's alone with this woman doing sex things? If they didn't do those things, Vince was going to find out about it somehow? Did he think she was going to tell Vince that, oh, Johnny didn't do the things he was supposed to do with me in private in the hotel that I was supposed to visit him at every morning? Or right? That was part of it too. She was going to visit him in a hotel that he was staying at before work to have sex with him on Vince's demand, request, whatever, trafficking. That's part of the lawsuit. How, in that instance, is John Laurinaitis a victim? I fail to understand how that works. Maybe it'll all come out in court. I really hope it does, because I would like to know more details, and I would like to know how exactly John Laurinaitis and his lawyer attempt to explain all this. I also wonder how John Laurinaitis has managed to explain this to his wife, who as of Christmas, this past Christmas, was still posting Instagram photos with him like one big happy family, which is amazing.
I think this goes back to like the Bellas. They saw their statement about the whole situation. I think this was to help appease them as well with that.
I guess they're siding with Johnny. They agree that Johnny was a victim, possibly, which is wild. I wonder how that is going to be explained. Explain to me, John Laurinaitis, how you're a victim. Vince made me do it. Everything. I didn't want to have sex with her. I don't even like women or sex or anything. I'm just so scared of Vince. Get the fuck out of here, man. That shit was, that's crazy. When I read that, he's a victim too, I was like, no. Because Vince is exerting power over him? No. Does he think if he doesn't do these things, he gets, fired from WWE? So? I mean, what? If some crazy billionaire was like, at the same time, it's not like any other company in the world would pay John Laurinaitis 6 figures for anything. WWE is the only place in the world where he would be making the kind of money, 6, maybe 7 figures, quite honestly. He might be, making $1 million. Who knows what he was making a year at WWE? But he was making a salary at WWE that he would not be making anywhere else in the world. You think TNA is going to hire Johnny Ace to be head of talent relations and pay him 6 figures? I don't think so. Johnny Ace is not making the WWE money anywhere else because his services, are very specific to WWE. So, you could make a case like, well, this is part of his job and Vince made him do it, and he just tried to please the boss, and he was stuck because this is the only big job he could get. And I guess they're going to make that case, but holy shit, I don't think it's going to hold up given the details in Janelle Grant's lawsuit.
Again, it's only going to get worse before it gets any better. That's for sure. It's going to get very ugly, it sounds like. We'll just have to wait and see how it all falls apart.
Oh, it's all falling apart, John. Oh, if you don't got it, get it. If you don't get it, figure it out. Oh, I'm Johnny Ace. Kind of sounds more like Beavis and Butthead. You know that guy?
Oh, the guy that's the guy who's like Hank Hill in that, isn't it?
No, because he sounds more like Hank Hill. There was like another guy who hated Beavis and Butthead. Not Mr. Anderson, somebody else. Oh, Beavis and Butthead. Oh, I'm going to get you.
He was an older guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was a different guy.
Yeah, different guy, yeah.
The other guy was like, I'll tell you what, good buddy. Fries. Yeah. That guy, he talked like Hank. He sounded like Hank. That was Mr. Anderson, right? Ain't you them boys that been whacking off in my tool shed? That was exactly Mr. Anderson. It's classic.
You remember your Beavis and Butthead. It's pretty good.
I had a tape, a VHS we watched a lot, so we memorized that thing.
Classic. Now you just got to wonder about everyone else, though. Like who's still in WWE and that was connected to Vince. Are they also going to take the hit for this?
You're looking at everybody suspiciously at this point, right? Everybody that's been around Vince, everybody that's been around Vince that is a Vince loyalist that is still in the company, especially, and even the ones that aren't. You're looking at like, yo, what did you know? What did you know? You were there a while. Bruce Pritchard, Kevin Dunn, Michael Hayes. What do you guys know? What are those guys saying? Those guys saying anything? I know Kevin Dunn and Michael Hayes probably aren't saying anything. Bruce Pritchard's got a podcast, but I doubt he's commenting. I doubt it. Unless he's like, oh, I had no idea. Brother Love. Why they call you Brother Love? What's up with this?
Wow. Well,
come on, man. Come on. Like, you're looking at everybody like, any top wrestler in the past 20 years that claims to have a really good personal relationship with Vince? All those guys. You go, hey, John Cena, did Vince ever offer you anything weird in a contract? Not like he did, but the question's got to be asked now because of Brock Lesnar. Hey, Undertaker, what do you know about Vince and all this? Vince ever offer you anything weird to come back for one last match? I just wonder. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm not saying that they did, but when Brock Lesnar is implicated in this mess and Vince is using this allegedly as some sort of way to entice wrestlers to sign contracts, if he's doing this with Brock, is it just with Brock?
Yeah, you start to open Pandora's box in a sense.
Dude.
And it's kind of sad. It's very sad. But the main person I think about right away is Triple H, because I think he was around Vince the most, no?
I don't know anything. Who's Vince?
Just focus on the positives.
Yeah,
you know,
I want to focus on the positive. Look how much money we're making. I'm doing a really good job. Don't forget, I'm doing a good job. Okay, TKO board, don't fire me. I didn't know anything. I'm the game. I don't know shit.
I remember the media scrum for AEW World's End. Like, you blasted Tony Khan for not answering unfounded rumors. Yet Triple H, I'm not hearing.
Well, okay.
You did.
Go ahead. I'll let you finish, but blast Tony Khan, I think, is not a fair assessment, but okay.
All right, but I'm not hearing any, critiques on Triple H, because Triple H apparently doesn't know anything what's going on. And, let's just not talk about what's going on behind the scenes. Let's talk about all the good stuff. He very much was even worse, I would say, in avoiding questions. And to me, made it look worse by saying that he doesn't know anything.
He did not do well at that Royal Rumble press conference, Triple H. Tony Khan didn't do well because he didn't answer the question either. Tony Khan was asked about Chris Jericho directly, and he was like, well, we take it seriously and da-da-da, but he never said anything about Jericho. So that was bad. Triple H, also bad. I mean, this was bad. I'm going to focus on the positives. I don't want to talk about that other stuff. The Royal Rumble was a huge success. WrestleMania, Netflix, everything's so good. I need to look good. Also, I will say this, though. In Triple H's defense, and I feel for him in a way that I don't feel for Tony Khan because of the family relationship. This is not just your wife's father. This is your children's grandfather. And that's tough. You're in a tough position as a father. You don't want your kids to think their grandfather is a monster. And you don't really want to be talking publicly about how your kid's grandfather is a very bad man. He is a bad person. I think at the end of the day, Triple H still wants, I would imagine, would want his kids to still have a love for their grandfather. Because there is that family part to it. Now, that's how I kind of perceive things, because I kind of relate to Triple H as a father, put in a weird position. I've never, thankfully, my father-in-law is a good person who's never done anything like that. He's also not a billionaire who's, he also doesn't run the WWE. I'm also no Triple H. I mean, let's be honest. That guy was jacked. Anyhow, enough of my shortcomings and how I'm not as cool as Triple H. The point is, Triple H, so I feel for him a little bit. I didn't what?
You don't have a pacemaker, at least.
Yeah, thankfully. Not yet. I'm not as old as Triple H. Let's hope for the best. Anyhow, I feel for him in a way, but at the same time, a lot of people are thinking he knew. I don't know how much he knew. I don't think Vince is going to tell him those kinds of details. I think Triple H is aware that Vince is having sex with other women, but I don't know if he is aware of how deep it went. And people are assuming that he knew, that Stephanie knew. I think they became aware of it, and when they became aware of it, they voted to keep Vince off the board. But Vince used his powers to shut them up and come back. And then Stephanie left the WWE again. She left when all this started. Then when Vince left, she came back. Then when Vince came back, she left again and was like, I'm done. I'm out. So Stephanie clearly knew something was going on. I don't think she was aware of it over the years. I think she just became aware of it when all the details came out, when Vince started getting accused of all this stuff. I don't think Vince is stupid enough to show his son-in-law, like, hey, look at this, pal. Look at this on my phone. Like, I don't think he's doing that. I think that'd be crazy. He's crazy, clearly, but I don't think he's that crazy. Because he's been able to get away with it for this long. So he's clearly showing this stuff to people that he feels comfortable knowing, like, they're not gonna have a problem with this. This is gonna be cool. And to show this to your son-in-law, I think is like a risky move, to say the least. I don't think they're that aware of all the details. But I think clearly when they see somebody in the office that has a close relationship with Vince that doesn't seem very qualified for their job, and they see them in Vince's office in and out, they figure, oh, this lady's having sex with Vince, and Vince is giving her a job because she's his current girlfriend. And they have thoughts about that. But I think that's about where it ended. I think they probably don't talk to her because they resent her in a way, so they're not getting any kind of details. They're not buddying up to her. They see her, they're like, Vince's girlfriend's got a job here. What the hell, Vince, you know? And then they kind of walk away from her. And that seemed to be what was going on. She was like, my coworkers were hostile. In the lawsuit, she's like, my coworkers didn't like me because they knew that I was just there because of Vince. So the coworkers are resenting her. They're not like asking her, hey, what's going on there? She's like, this is horrible. I'm like a sex slave, you know? She doesn't say that because everybody's kind of treating her like, oh, Vince's privileged girlfriend that's just there getting a job and doesn't deserve the spot. And I think that's how she was viewed, but they didn't really understand how deep it went and all the details. And like, I think Triple H handled it poorly. But to label him guilty, I mean, we don't know. We don't know. And yeah, he's been part of Vince's inner circle, but he's also married to Vince's daughter. I don't think Vince wants his daughter to know this stuff about him. You know? I don't think he minds if his buddies know it about him. Co-workers, whatever, his friends. But like I don't think Vince would want his daughter to know what he's up to in that type of way. Why would he? So I don't think he's crossing that line. I think Triple H and Stephanie were mostly kept in the dark. They became aware, and then they turned on Vince because they realized how shitty he was. Which can't be easy. You know?
Well, again, we don't know what happened exactly, but you imagine a lot of this is going to come out eventually. So,
yep,
we'll find out, and it's going to get messy, very messy.
Here is a quote from the Wrestling Observer newsletter that they attribute to one of the biggest company stars of the modern era. And this is regarding the Vince McMahon lawsuit and who knew, and they are heavily involving Triple H. Okay?
Okay.
And so this is Wrestling Observer, Dave Meltzer newsletter. And they're not saying who it is, but they're saying one of the biggest company stars of the modern era. Now, I want you and I to guess who it is.
Hogan?
Modern era, John. Like,
I mean,
current. No, I think that's like somebody from current day.
Oh, it has to be wrestling. Can't just be like a star.
I think it's somebody on TV today. So I'm going to read you the quote, and then you tell me who said it, okay?
Okay.
He's the effing cerebral assassin. Best politicking dude in history. Literally wormed his way from a green entry-level wrestler into a still average wrestler. Absolute top-of-the-office executive. You think he doesn't pay attention to what's going on around him? Think he did that without knowing every little thing everywhere in that company? yet somehow this slip passes radar? The thing about that place is if TKO starts cleaning house, they're going to show up with a bucket and some Lysol, then realize that shit's in the walls, in the floorboards. They're going to have to bring out the sledgehammer because that shit is going to turn into a demolition job. Down to the foundation. Sledgehammer pun not intended. One of the biggest stars of the modern era.
Does it have to be WWE?
I don't know if he currently wrestles for WWE because if you listen to the quote, it reads, the thing about that place makes me think that they don't work for WWE currently, because if they did, they would say this place.
See, right away, to me, it sounds like Moxley would say something like that.
Ooh.
I guess that's not who you had, I guess.
I don't know. No, I really didn't have a guess. I wanted you to guess. I didn't know.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, I took my guess.
Moxley. Yeah, one of the biggest stars, modern era, yeah. Huh. Maybe. You might be right. I really, I don't know. I could see it being Jericho.
I was going to say maybe Jericho, possible, but just the way the lingo was, it seemed more like Moxley.
Show up with a bucket and some Lysol, shits in the walls and the floorboards. I don't think Moxley talks to the Meltzer, though.
Yeah, but maybe he got the quote from somebody else. He's done that third hand before.
Mm. It's an interesting quote from a wrestler who says Triple H knew, but if you knew the Triple H knew, how come you didn't know?
Right.
Who knows?
I like Cody's response, though. I thought Cody had a great response.
Cody handled it very well. Yeah. Cody's quotes at the Rumble press conference were excellent. Cody had me believing in everything. Everything he was saying. Cody seems like a gentleman. He got me to be happy that he won the Rumble. I was not unhappy that he won the Rumble, but I was kind of like, why did he win the Rumble? I thought we were going to get The Rock, But watching his Rumble press conference and DDP asking him the question and talking to him there.
Oh, I didn't like DDP.
You didn't like DDP?
I didn't like the idea that DDP asked him a question.
I liked it.
Takes away from the seriousness of it actually being a media scrum. It's not, DDP's clearly not media, but whatever. It's a nice moment for him, but it wasn't a serious question.
I thought it was a nice moment, though. I thought it led to a nice moment and a nice answer from Cody. And Cody talking about, not just finishing the story, but not just wanting to be the champion, but also wanting to be the guy in the WWE, wanting to be that number one guy, that top star. And Triple H talking about him, he seemed to kind of say the same thing, like Cody is the guy. They see him as the number one guy in professional wrestling, the number one guy in their company. And I feel like they are kind of pushing him to take over the spot from Roman Reigns. The way that Cody was talking, he was talking like that is his goal. And the way that Triple H was talking, it was like he seemed on board. So that was really interesting. That was a takeaway that I thought, I had there after that was they're really putting Cody at the top of that list over Roman in the future. It seems like that's where we're headed.
Cody's the kind of guy right now where it's like, you don't need the title to be the best. He's kind of reached that Piper kind of level. You can still be a megastar, and you don't need the championship.
Cody is a phenomenal talent, and I would like to see him win that championship at WrestleMania. And then we'll see. We'll see where Cody goes from there. Probably feud with Damian Priest to get the title back, right?
Probably.
CM Punk is going to be gone for a while. He's hurt. He tore his tricep in the Royal Rumble.
Not the same one, by the way. Remember he tore his tricep against Moxley as well?
This is his other tricep that he tore. The other arm.
Other one, yeah. Because I think that was his right before. Now this is his left.
Uh-huh. I said when he signed to WWE, how long until this guy gets hurt? How many matches? Because in AEW, he got hurt a lot. It's not like he was wrestling house shows. He wrestled some matches on TV, and every few matches, there'd be an injury, and he'd be out for a while.
Well, one was a freak kind of thing, though.
Yeah, okay. It was a freak thing. He jumped in the crowd, and he hurt his ankle, right?
Broke his foot.
But, like, how did that happen? Like, what's going on with him? What is happening? Why is he getting hurt so much? He gets hurt so much. It was a question in AEW, and now it has come over to the WWE and happened instantly. His first match on TV, he did have one match, I guess, with Dominic Mysterio at Madison Square Garden on December 26th. But after that...
wrestled him again, too.
Did he wrestle him again?
The Kia Forum, I think, in L.A.
Okay, so he had 2 matches with Dominic Mysterio back in December. But since then, no matches. He wrestles a bit in the Rumble, takes a DDT thing, the Future Shock from Drew McIntyre, and tears his tricep. Now, the way Drew kind of held him and dropped him down, it did look a little rough. Like, it was a rough landing.
Yeah, but he's done that to people before. You know, I just think Punk wasn't ready for it.
Wasn't ready for it. He's 45 years old. He's going to be out now for a good chunk of 2024.
9 months, probably. At least more. Maybe more.
Maybe more? Is there a chance we don't see Punk until the Royal Rumble 2025?
It could be like a Cody thing. Remember, Cody tore his pec, and we didn't see him until the Rumble afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm. So he could be ready in September, but they might just push it to January.
Right. Or Survivor Series, you know, he makes his return again at Survivor Series. I can see that.
I just wonder, you know, the years of pro wrestling, the UFC attempt, which he talked about. Hell of a promo from Punk. Really good promo.
Great promo. Great segment.
You kind of feel for him. I mean, you do feel for him. It sucks that he's hurt. I feel bad for him. But it's like, man, can he still do this? That's my big question is, can he still do this? Because the frequency of the injuries leads you to believe that it's going to be hard, and it's not something that you can depend on as a pro wrestling company. Like, if you're the WWE right now and you signed him to whatever big money deal you signed him to, at this point you got to go, ooh, what did we sign? What do we have here? It's kind of like it's like a baseball team that signs a player and then all of a sudden they're hurt. Like Carlos Rodon all over again, you know? You sign somebody, they're no good, and you're like, oh, I thought this guy was going to be awesome. We gave him all this money. He's a big star. He's really excellent, but it turns out he's injury prone, and maybe this last injury is the end. I'm not saying that his wrestling career is totally done. I'm just saying if he does come back and then he gets hurt again in a match or two, what do you say? What do you do?
Well, he even said in the promo he may never wrestle in the main event of WrestleMania. So, like, he's accepted that reality is possible, that maybe he can't do it anymore, which is sad. Because at one point he was one of the best, if not the best. So it's tough. You could tell, like, his sadness, that was legit. You know, even those tears, like, I believe those tears because I think he was really sad and heartbroken.
Yeah.
Because there's a good chance he might not make it back and to that spot again. Like, maybe he'll come back, but to be in that spot, you never know what can happen kind of thing when you come back. What the scene is like might be completely different, and it just doesn't work out for him.
I think you're right. Because, you know, this was an opportunity to be in one of the big matches. This was the spot. This was the time. When he comes back, who knows? And again, being so injury prone, having this many injuries, you wonder, you know, are the wheels falling off? And is it starting to come to an end here for CM Punk? And, you know, he said he had big goals, but big goals fail sometimes. And talks about his, you know, do you guys see me fighting the UFC? Like, it was a big goal. I tried for it, and I failed, and it happens. And then Drew McIntyre came out and mocked CM Punk, and Punk says he'll main event WrestleMania next year, but he's going to come after Drew first. And then Drew attacked CM Punk and stomped on his injured arm, which I thought was pretty good. I like that Punk was willing to do that and that they set that up with Drew McIntyre. I think Punk has a ready-made feud when he does come back. Drew hurt him. Drew attacked him on Raw. That's something they can do.
They should even go a step further because probably the Chamber will have some. Actually, no, wait. I guess the Chamber will not be for the championship, right?
For the world title?
I mean, well, it's pretty much set for the world title. Unless, I guess, Seth is going to defend. He's not going to defend the title in the Chamber, is he?
No, he's hurt.
So what's going to happen with the Chamber? I mean, the women will get one. And then what?
Yeah, the women will get one to determine a challenge for Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania, right? Becky will win the women's chamber. What do you do for a men's chamber?
Yeah.
Intercontinental winner gets Gunther. Braun Breaker wins it. Something like that.
I guess. Do they have Logan Paul scheduled for Elimination Chamber? I'd have him defend the title for that.
In the chamber.
Yeah.
They did say tonight on SmackDown, Logan Paul will get his next challenger next week on SmackDown. Nick Aldis will tell him.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be 5 challengers.
That wouldn't be bad. I mean, I'm just trying to think of ideas like to make it interesting for the Chamber because I don't know about you, with all these injuries, Elimination Chamber gets hurt very much. They need The Rock now for Chamber. I know you're saying that The Rock won't be there. They kind of need The Rock for that event because they are lacking star power now. No Roman, no Seth. I guess, what does Cody do? Like, there's no point for him to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You need stars on that show.
But the tickets are sold already.
Yeah, but still, like, we have to get up at 5 a.m. and watch this. Give us a reason.
No one's going to do that. And they know no one's going to do that. And they're not going to give us a reason to because they don't need to give you a reason to because, you know, the channel's already bought and paid for. It's not like they make more money off a pay-per-view buy. There's no pay-per-views. They don't need to put on a good show. They don't need to do anything for Elimination Chamber. It's a glorified house show to celebrate Rhea Ripley in Australia. That's all it is.
I'd agree if this was like just a random Saudi Arabia show, Crown Jewel, whatever. But Elimination Chamber, that's part of the road to WrestleMania. So this is kind of important. Regardless if people don't see it live, it still has to have impactful moments.
Becky Lynch wins the Chamber and faces off with Rhea Ripley.
Okay, that's one.
That's it.
And it's going to be a lame show.
That's it. That's all you get.
It's going to be rough.
LA Knight gets a big win and does something.
Sounds like Fastlane so far.
That's fine. I think that's fine. I don't think Elimination Chamber needs to be a massive show this year. It's going to be at 5 a.m. in Australia. They've already sold the tickets. Those people will be hyped no matter what because they never get, house shows, let alone pay-per-views. It's not like they go there for TV once in a while. When Montreal got Elimination Chamber last year, it was like, yo, you better bring us a big show because, we get TV. The pay-per-view better feel like a pay-per-view. Better not be some sort of fancy house show with pyro, We don't want that. We want a real pay-per-view, and we got that. Because we do get Raws and Smackdowns that do tapings here, Dynamites, right? In that building, the Bell Center in Montreal. But in Australia, there's no Raw from Australia. This is it. This is their big show. So you give them whatever, as long as the WWE is there, as long as they get to see Rhea Ripley beat Nia Jax, I think they'll be fine. Honestly. Do they have an Australian Bad Bunny? Who's the Australian Bad Bunny? Get him to have a wrestling match? Do they have somebody? I have no idea who the most famous Australian is in the world. Who's famous from Australia? The lady who played Barbie, right? Margot Robbie. Isn't she Australian? Can we book her for a match, brother? Get her for the Chamber. Come on. Ari Emanuel can't fix that for TKO. Big Hollywood man there. You can't get Margot Robbie in Australia for the Chamber. It'd be massive.
It would be.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm saying they don't need anything major for WrestleMania as far as setting things up. Set up an Intercontinental title match, set up a U.S. title match, set up Becky and Rhea, and that's it. We've already set up Roman and Rock. We've already set up Cody and Seth. Punk's not wrestling. Maybe we set something up for LA Knight at Chamber, like Kangaroos, maybe? I don't know. Can we do the kangaroo kick? Is that allowed? Can we get MJF? Is he the most famous Australian? He does the kangaroo kick?
I know you wouldn't be a fan of this, but this will get people talking. Just have The Rock come out on the Grayson Waller effect. I think that would work a lot.
Yeah, you could do that if he wants to make the trip. Sure. No match, though. Unnecessary. Just a promo. A promo, like if that's the first time we hear from The Rock, it's at Elimination Chamber on the Grayson Waller effect. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic, I think.
Yeah, that'd be good. They could do that. They could easily do that.
They have the talent. They have the time. They can do it.
Yeah, they have a reason, too. Booking. They have a lot of reasons to do it, too. Right?
Yes.
So a lot of great stuff. Focusing on the positive, as Triple H would say. A lot of great stuff coming out of WWE these days. It sucks that CM Punk is hurt. It sucks that Vince is a pervert. But, we've got some good matches for WrestleMania. What we won't have is Brock Lesnar and Gunther, which, according to Post Wrestling and Wrestling Observer, was the plan for WrestleMania. Brock Lesnar was supposed to be in the Royal Rumble. He was supposed to face Dominic Mysterio at Elimination Chamber, and also supposed to face Gunther at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental Championship. But none of those things are happening because Brock Lesnar allegedly was sent explicit material, including the lady peeing in a video at the request of Vince McMahon. And that's part of the lawsuit, and it's just...
Well, that's only what you know.
Yeah, who knows what else is going on. Yeah, exactly. So Brock Lesnar, he's implicated in the Vince lawsuit, so Brock Lesnar is not being brought back to the WWE because WWE, they're not crazy.
Yeah, but I doubt Brock worries about that whatsoever, though.
Brock?
I doubt Brock really cares. Like, oh, he doesn't come back? Oh, well. I'm sure
Brock's feeling is, you want to do something about me? Come and get me. I'm in Saskatchewan. I've got a lot of guns, and I'm Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, go hunt Brock down. Good luck.
Yeah, go get Brock. Yikes. I wouldn't want that job. It sucks that we're not getting Brock Lesnar and Gunther, though, just on a wrestling, level, because that would have been cool. Brock Lesnar and Gunther at WrestleMania, Gunther beating Brock would have been sweet. I would have liked to have seen that. Brock not being in the Rumble, Brock not wrestling Dominic Mysterio, yeah, fine, that's good with me. Brock versus Gunther would have been cool, but I get why we're not doing that, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Brock ever again, really, but that match would have been good. Would have been good.
I mean, it's too bad, but so now that we don't get that, what else can they give us? That's the big question. I feel the options are very slim here.
Apparently, Braun Breaker is the replacement for Brock Lesnar, which, I mean, their names sound similar, but it's not the same impact. Yeah.
It's not the same. Really? We're doing that? I mean, it's not a bad idea, but I'm not looking forward to that match. I feel like you kind of know how it's going to go. Gunther's pretty much going to dominate, and maybe Braun might get a sneak win or something, but that's about it.
I think the match could be all right. Braun Breaker, you look good in the Rumble. I've enjoyed what I've seen from him so far. I think it's about time they brought him up to the main roster and see what he can do for real. I'm good with it. I don't hate the match, Braun and Gunther. I don't like it as much as Brock and Gunther, obviously. Right. But Braun Breaker coming in and getting this spot is not bad. He was on SmackDown tonight, but then Adam Pearce was like, let me bring you to Raw and see what we can offer you over there. So Braun Breaker's going to be on Raw to figure out if he wants to wrestle on Raw. And I think he will wind up wrestling on Raw. And facing Gunther at WrestleMania, which is fine. Whatever. It's a cool match.
Well, it's fine because, I mean, what are the other options? And there aren't really much of any. So, yeah, I guess we'll go with that because Gunther's pretty much defeated the rest of the mid-card, so we need some new blood. So, why not? Someone different and someone that can pose a little bit of a threat to Gunther's title reign. To me, Braun coming in there, winning a championship, that's a decent start. But when you really think about it, his start is at the Rumble now. And it's an okay showing, but it's not the way I would have debuted him, though. I think he should have debuted a lot stronger. Mm-hmm. Coming after WrestleMania, making a statement, challenging somebody, laying someone out, and then going on that path of destruction. That's how I would have started with Braun, and maybe that's what they were wanting to do, but they've been forced into this situation. I mean, it could still work out. I just feel they really have to push him like crazy now to go into WrestleMania against Gunther, who's been unbeatable for, a year and a half now?
Yeah.
It's a tough ask for that.
But a win over him at WrestleMania to end the title reign, which, could end at any point because Gunther's already had a record-breaking run. At this point, Gunther could lose the belt, and it's fine. Gunther, I don't think, loses anything by losing the belt or losing to Braun Breaker, and I think it would be massive for Breaker to be the one to beat Gunther and to do it at Mania and to win a title at the same time. That's kind of like his start, his official start. That would be like his kind of breakout moment.
Yeah, it's just, can you get the people behind him? You have the time to do it. Can you get them on his side? So we'll have to wait and see if they can pull that off. That's my issue with it, is that you really have to start pushing him like crazy now.
I'm going to say something that I cannot believe I'm going to say, and maybe I've gone crazy, John, but I saw these promos that Braun Breaker was doing in NXT with a guy, and I feel like that guy was making him more likable, and maybe we need to bring him up to the main roster again. Baron Corbin.
I saw one. I thought it was really stupid, the promo, but okay.
I kind of liked it. I saw a couple of them that they did together, and I was like, oh, these guys have good chemistry. These are kind of fun. I like Braun with Corbin. This is something here. And maybe you need to bring Corbin in for him to play off of to help him get over a little bit more. I can't believe I'm saying I want to see Baron Corbin back on TV, but maybe.
We already got the Miz and R-Truth as the Odd Couple team. We don't need another Odd Couple team. Not right now.
Okay. Fine. I retract the statement then. Okay. Braun Breaker going to Raw. Andrade officially on Raw. He signed a contract on Raw. Tiffany Stratton. Everybody's excited because it is Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton on SmackDown tonight had a really solid match with Michin that she won with the prettiest moonsault ever. I thought it was a solid match. You didn't like it?
Oh, well, let me talk to you about my critiques of this match.
Oh, here we go.
One, Tiffany Stratton's like selling atrocious. The way she just like is taking punches in the corner and just selling like like that. Like for people on the podcast, she doesn't cover up or anything.
Okay.
She just takes the shots and just like acts like a stiff doll pretty much in the corner, doing nothing. And then doesn't sell after the fact, like, oh, I hurt my face or anything. Just, panting, going back and forth because she's a little tired from a 3-minute match. I question her cardio. Like, what's going on with that? And that there was it wasn't really her fault. I think it was more Mia Yim, but whatever the hell happened in that corner when she was trying to set her up for the Shattered Dreams, like lung blower that they hit. What happened there? Because that was just a mess in the corner.
I mean, it just looked kind of rough. The move landed, though. It's not like it fell apart.
Oh, it was sloppy as hell. Like, one, they could barely get the Shattered Dreams set up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then how they just landed in a heap. It just looked messy as all hell. I was not a fan of that. But again, that might not have been Tiffany Stratton's fault.
Yeah.
However, her finish, which she completely missed, is her fault. And that looks bad.
She didn't completely miss it.
Okay, sorry. Her arms hit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, yeah.
Not a solid match.
Like I thought it was, I didn't think it was that bad. It was a short match, and like the moves that she hits are very impressive. Like, she's obviously got a lot, and she's got the charisma going as well. She's got a gimmick. I like Tiffany Stratton.
Like, there's potential, but a lot of work. I find she's more of a stiff robot almost in that ring at this point.
Wow. We're seeing different things. I don't know. I was more impressed. She's only 24. There's a lot of potential there.
She's no MJF, that's for sure.
No, but I think she's going to get there where she's going to be a top level talent in the WWE. She's got a lot of potential, and she showed it tonight. I was impressed. Johnny didn't like it. She's no Bayley.
Yeah, Bayley's a better wrestler. But, I mean, on look, she destroys Bayley without question. 9 on 10 on the look, without question.
I disagree.
Like she doesn't look better than Bayley in terms of as a wrestler?
No, I don't think so.
She doesn't look more intimidating. She's taller.
No? Is she?
She's more muscular. Like, how is she not like more intimidating than Bayley?
I feel like Tiffany Stratton looks too much like every other women's wrestler.
Okay, kind of, but
Bayley
she's
looks
more
like
muscular.
Bayley. Bayley's got like her own. Yeah, but Bayley's got size. She's muscular too. Bayley doesn't look not intimidating. I mean, Tiffany Stratton and Bayley don't look intimidating. Period. To me, I mean, they're not. I mean, I don't see Bayley or Tiffany Stratton and think, "Oh my God, they're terrifying." You know, Rhea Ripley at times seems like kind of intimidating. Like, well, I don't know, she's kind of scary. But Bayley and Tiffany Stratton, they don't, scream intimidating. Asuka is intimidating,
In ways, different ways of intimidation, I think.
Yeah. I guess we're scared of different things, John. Different types of women scare us. Tiffany Stratton scares you. Asuka scares me. I just don't want to get misted in the face, brother. My eyes. It burns.
Apparently, it doesn't burn for some people. Sometimes it burns, sometimes it doesn't. So it depends on what kind of mist you get, I guess.
I'm allergic to the mist. Burns my eyes.
Either way,
yeah.
The main event was my issue with SmackDown, pretty much. Like, besides that, it was fine. I don't know why that was the main event. Like, out of all the matches that we saw, why was that the main event?
Why not?
Like, I think Kevin Owens, Austin Theory was a far better match.
It was the opener.
Far more intriguing. That should have been the main event.
No, because they had the promo attached to it and everything. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on there. Logan Paul had a promo, and then Kevin Owens came out, and he did a promo, which led to the match. You can't do that in the main event. The main event's got to be The Rock doing a promo. You can't do another promo. You know what I'm saying? Because Logan Paul had to do talking time with Kevin Owens before the match. So you can't main event with that match because you have to main event with promo of The Rock. You can't, or whatever, Roman and Cody. You can't mix that in with another Logan Paul promo right before. It's too much. Lopsided.
No, what you do is you do promo, start the show, then you have that match, air it later, separate them, and then you're still good.
No, because then Logan would have to do a second entrance to do the commentary for the match to be involved in the finish.
Is that so hard?
Takes time, unnecessary. Too much. No.
Do a commercial break.
No, they did it right, John. You're wrong. You're wrong about this. I'm just going to say it. You're just wrong.
The better match should be the main event.
No, who cares? The real main event was Roman Reigns and The Rock and Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns starts coming out at 9:30. That's the main event, man. Come on.
I was wondering. It's like 9 o'clock. The main event started. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it was the last match of the show. It's not the main event. I think it's nice for Tiffany Stratton for her first night on SmackDown. She gets to main event SmackDown, even though The Rock really main evented SmackDown. The Rock and the Tribal Chief. And Cody to a certain extent. Kevin Owens beat Austin Theory with the power of the punch. Grayson Waller distracted the referee. Logan Paul passed the brass knuckles to Theory. Kevin Owens took them, though. Hit Theory with them. Hit Waller with them. 1, 2, 3 on Theory. Kevin Owens wins and then chased off Logan Paul. Power of the punch. It's back. They brought back William Regal, so they're doing the power of the punch. They didn't call it that, but that is what the move used to be called. It's a maneuver. You pull the brass knuckles out of your trunks. You look real suspicious. You punch a guy in the face. You put the knucks back in your trunks. You pin the man, and you win. Power of the punch. William Regal won many matches with that. Classic maneuver. Kevin Owens should bring it back. Start calling it power of the punch. Why not?
Did it feel like they went backwards with this, though? Because he got caught at the Rumble, but he didn't get caught this week on SmackDown. I feel like you lead up to getting caught. Like you do it, you don't get caught, and then eventually, you do get caught. Yeah, this way they did it the other way around.
Yeah. Maybe he learned how to not get caught.
Yeah, I guess. But
it's
backwards, I find.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Could you explain why Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, and the Final Testament, which is Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain, what the hell were they doing on SmackDown? It wasn't a match.
It was supposed to be.
So what happened?
They just started fighting. So because they just started fighting, the referee never rang the bell because they never settled. So the match never was able to start because the ref never got control.
What the fuck? That was stupid as hell. And and B-Fab came out to help Bobby Lashley, who was getting attacked by Scarlett. So I guess B-Fab no longer in Hit Row, which doesn't exist anymore, and she's with Lashley and the Profits. B-Fab.
I didn't know it was her because she's changed her hair color, so I had no idea who it was at first.
It's B-Fab. Get it straight.
Well, they let me know afterwards, yeah. But I'm like, who is this? It felt like the Women's Rumble again.
Bayley, speaking of the Women's Rumble, Bayley, the winner of the Women's Rumble, announced her WrestleMania opponent tonight, cutting a promo in the ring. Kairi Sane, Io Sky, and Asuka were behind her. Rhea Ripley was watching backstage. Bayley says Damage Control is like family. Io, Kairi, and Asuka laugh behind Bayley's back. Earlier in the night, too, I should mention, they were backstage, and Kairi and Asuka and Io were talking about Bayley and saying, we're going to handle Bayley tonight. So they were clearly planning something mean to Bayley. And Bayley talks about Rhea Ripley and says sometimes it's more personal than just being the best, and it's about proving people wrong. And the people you thought were your friends, they have to be proven wrong. And then she goes up to Io and Kairi and Asuka and starts speaking Japanese to them. And she's like, yeah, I picked up Japanese from all the times that you were talking behind my back. And Bayley starts getting emotional. She's like really feeling the promo. I thought it was great stuff from Bayley. She says she wanted Damage Control to be the best. And she's like, Io, what happened? Like, what? Why? I thought that was really good. Fans were chanting Bayley's name. Kairi and Asuka then attacked Bayley, but Bayley pulled a pipe from under the ring. She knew she was going to get attacked. She smacked Asuka and Kairi with it. Io and Bayley faced off, and then Io left, and Bayley tells Io, I will see you at WrestleMania. I liked the promo. I liked the way they did it. I thought it was solid stuff. I feel like this story needed a few more beats. Like, we needed a little bit more focus on it and maybe more of Bayley knowing that they were going to turn on her, because it all kind of happened tonight. And I feel like it was all good just a week ago. And now all of a sudden things are totally changed. The dynamic has changed in the group. Dakota Kai wasn't even around for all of this. Like, where does she stand?
Is your tweet?
No. What did she say?
She said, WTF, what's going on?
Oh, okay. So Dakota is maybe still with Bayley. So we'll see about that. But yeah, that I feel like this needed a little bit more time, but I understand they wanted to get it going, and they got it going. So Bayley versus Io, it felt like the match was going to happen anyways. We knew it was going to happen, and I think we needed to announce it tonight because they have to find a reason to book that other Elimination Chamber match, right? The Women's Elimination Chamber match. I think we need a reason to book it. So if Bayley is still undecided for a week or two leading into Chamber, that's a week or two that you don't have a big Chamber match announced. You know what I'm saying? Because I think they're going to announce, Becky Lynch and 5 other women in a Chamber match where the winner faces Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. But they have to announce that match kind of quickly because they only have 3 weeks of TV before Elimination Chamber. So you would think they want to announce that match Monday night on Raw so they can start building it. And Bayley needed to make her announcement tonight on SmackDown so that they could, make it clear that, okay, now that Bayley has announced she's not facing Rhea, she's facing Io, we need to find an opponent for WrestleMania, so let's start that process. I feel like Bayley and Io and the whole Damage Control breakup could have used a little bit more build. Like it needed like a week or two more to get to where we got to tonight. They did it all in one night. I think it worked given the circumstances, but it could have been done a little bit better.
It's funny. I felt the same way with the promo too. Like it was the right way to go, but they rushed it a little bit too quickly, I found. Like I feel this is a lot like Batista, Triple H. I mean, a little bit different dynamics, but kind of the same kind of build. But like you said, you needed that little bit extra week of like Bayley knowing ahead of time kind of thing and maybe going through different emotions. Like that's what we have with Batista, Triple H, where Triple H would kind of make fun of Batista behind his back kind of thing. And Batista didn't turn on him right away, but eventually it just started building and building, and we got to it afterwards. And there was like a whole episode of Raw, if I'm not mistaken, of the whole teasing Batista Triple H. So it built throughout the whole 2 hours. Where this, we got, 10 minutes? At most?
Yeah.
So that's kind of disappointing because it's one of the better stories they have going. And it felt like we were all over the place. Like last week, we're all on board. We're all going to gang up on Rhea kind of thing. We'll all be champions. Oh, then on Raw, I'm scared of Nia. And now everyone's got doubts for different reasons. And now we're all making fun of Bayley, even though she won the Rumble.
Right.
Oh, well, she was scared of Nia for a little bit.
But they were all scared of Nia.
This was all over the place, this story. Like, they kind of almost ruined the story in just a week's time. But we knew where we were going, thankfully. And the crowd kind of knew it too, I think, in a sense. So that helped. And the crowd got behind it. I just felt like when they were chanting her name, they didn't let that breathe enough. Like, they were chanting her name finally, and then bam, right away. You know, it's like, let that sink in a little bit. Like, she was, pouring her heart out, and then bam. Like, I think just let her say it a little bit, let it sink in.
Yeah.
Then the turn,
I
felt like
they were rushed. They were probably rushed for time, honestly, with The Rock there and everything that was going on. I feel like maybe they got their time cut because, when they were chanting her name, Bayley didn't stop to let it breathe, and Bayley knows what the fuck she's doing. You know what I mean? It's not like this is her first big promo. She's done this before. She knows when the fans are chanting her name. She heard it, but she went over them. She kept talking because I think she knew, like, we got 2 minutes to get this done. We got to go. She's a pro. She got it done.
Well, the promo was long because she was going in one direction with the promo, and then she completely flipped it. So that took up a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
So that could have hurt it as well. And I feel like it's not bad, but we kind of got the same thing twice, if you think about it, with Cody.
Yeah. I liked it, though. I liked what Bayley did. I liked what Cody did. I thought SmackDown tonight was really good. Whenever we're building towards WrestleMania and we're announcing WrestleMania matches, that's always good by me. I can't complain with that. Bayley is great. Bayley now, I think, turning babyface off of this, right? Which is cool to see this version of Bayley as a babyface. She hasn't been a babyface since she was the hugger with the ponytail. She turned heel, and she hasn't been a babyface since. So that's kind of cool, right?
Well, again, a little bit hard to take in right away because she was this horrible person who planned all this, and now suddenly, because they laughed at her and out of nowhere, like, we have to accept her as a babyface. It's a little bit hard. Again, like, you can accept it, but if you're just watching this as it develops, it takes a little bit of time there. Like, how can we trust Bayley considering she was such a horrible person for so long?
Yes.
I mean, she kind of deserved what she got in a sense.
Yes. And I get that from a wrestling story perspective, but and I know that there are other things that go on with wrestling fans and how they react. And with Bayley, it's not about, oh, she's so evil on TV. It's like, man, she's so good at this. And you watch her and you're entertained and you're like, we love Bayley. She's been around forever. She's a legend. She's great at everything she does. She's a top-level pro wrestler. She's getting her shine. She won the Rumble. She's getting a big match at Mania. And we're cheering her on because we're behind her 100%. Because she's a star and she's great at what she does. And that's why Bayley's a babyface right now. Bayley is a babyface because wrestling fans appreciate Bayley's work. It's not the character that we're like, oh, she's bad, but Damage Control, they made her do it, and it's their fault. It's like, we like Bayley. She's great. This is her time. She deserves this moment. Congratulations, Bayley. You're the best. That's why she's a babyface, out of respect for her work. Because you can't boo her. Even when she's doing bad things, you cheer for her because you still like her more than whoever she's doing the bad things to. Because she's Bayley, and she's awesome, and she's hilarious when she's doing the bad things. Right?
One of the things she mentioned, she's almost done it all at WrestleMania already. This is the one thing that she hasn't accomplished. Is go that one-on-one singles championship bout.
And she is going to have to carry this program because she's going up against 3 women that don't speak English. So, promo-wise, I want to see some backstage things with Io speaking Japanese with subtitles. I worry about the future of Damage Control, the Kabuki Warriors. I don't know what this group is called. Are they still Damage Control without Bayley? What do you call Asuka, Kairi, and Io together? Is Dakota Kai going to be with them or with Bayley? And if she's with them, are they still Damage Control or are they some sort of different group? I'm not really sure where all that stands. But as far as those 3 together, the 3 Japanese women there, you know, English is not their first language, and when they speak English, it's kind of hard to understand. So promo-wise, Bayley's going to have to carry a lot of the load, and past Bayley, you know, whatever they do, it's going to be, you know, they benefited from having Bayley speak for them, especially Io, right? Asuka, you know, she's been doing it on her own. She's figured out how to do it. Kairi has basically just been Asuka's sidekick for most of her WWE career, and she's going to continue on that path. But for Io, you know, her English isn't great. Bayley has been speaking for her entire time on the main roster. Now she's the champion. She's on her own, and she's got nobody to talk. Do you get somebody to talk for her? Do you find somebody? You know?
I mean, you could have Dakota. That makes sense.
God damn, Mr. Fuji was useful, you know? You had an Asian wrestler. You needed a guy to talk for him. Mr. Fuji. English wasn't his first language, but by God, you understood what he said. Pretty much.
We got too many managers now if you think about it. We got Paul Heyman. We got Scarlett. We got Paul Ellering.
Okay, I mean, that one group has too many managers. It's one group with 2 managers. They got almost more managers than wrestlers in that group. 3 wrestlers, 2 managers. Is that necessary?
I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I mean, it probably have, but just it's been a
while. Yokozuna had Cornette and Fuji, didn't he?
It's interesting, that story. Like, you've heard Cornette talk about that. Like, the reason why was because Fuji wasn't the best at talking. They needed someone who could actually really carry a good promo.
Yeah. Even though Fuji was a manager for years.
But limited, though. Looking back on it, yeah, very limited in what he would say. You know, Hulk Hogan, you will fall. That's it.
Yeah, I guess Cornette had to do a little bit more when they were. Yeah, it's a main event guy with Yokozuna, right? They needed more talking. And Cornette was very good at that. He was. He still is pretty good at talking. You know? I don't always agree with his talkings, but he's still very good at talking.
I'm sure he could talk most people.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He's entertaining. I'm entertained by Jim Cornette. I don't always agree with him. Jim Cornette to me is like a Joe Rogan, you know? I don't always agree with him, but I'm entertained. I don't listen to all of his shows, but once in a while I'll listen to some of his shows, and I'm like, yeah, I like this, you know? You don't have to agree. I'm sure people don't agree with me, you know? There's Antoinette. I know Antoinette has disagreed with me in the past, but she's still watching Wrestling Uncensored. Hi, Antoinette.
She just doesn't like one side of you. That's it. As long as you're not woke, Dave, you're okay.
Yeah, woke Dave. No one likes woke. Well, some people like woke Dave. Johnny likes woke Dave. AJ and Fred don't like him too much.
That's
woke
it.
Dave.
You just got to stay away from ringside. That's it.
Yeah.
Stay away from that side.
Yeah. It's more fun on the wrestling side. But yeah, you know, I think Cornette is a funny guy. He's a funny guy. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne became the number 1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team titles, beating Pretty Deadly, Legado del Fantasma, and the LWO in a fatal 4-way. So they're going to get the title shot at Elimination Chamber against Finn Balor and Damian Priest. My God, I don't care.
Whoa.
Isn't that it?
That wasn't. No? They'll face the winners from a Raw qualifying match.
Oh.
And then, after that match, then the winners will face
what?
Finn and Priest. Yeah.
Really?
That's the way it's working. Yeah.
Jeez. They're taking
a little more complicated.
That's taking a while. I didn't know that. I was lost. I guess I wasn't paying close enough attention. Okay, so they're gonna wrestle people on Raw, some Raw team.
No, Raw, like some Raw teams will face each other, probably in like a 4 corners match like we saw tonight,
Yeah.
4 Raw teams.
Yeah.
And then the winner of that match will face Bate and Dunn on SmackDown next week.
Okay.
And the
then
winner
of
of
that match will face Damian Priest and Finn Balor at the Chamber for the tag team titles.
Yeah. So, your pick?
Who cares is my pick. The tag team division, they got unified tag team titles, and I couldn't care less. That division is weak. The tag team champions are weak. They had a match with DIY this past Monday. That was, fine, but I don't care about these guys as tag team champions at all. At all. I think Miz and Truth will win because they beat down R-Truth this week, right? JD beat down R-Truth. I think Truth will want revenge. Yeah. He will team with Miz. They will win the Raw qualifying match. They will beat Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, and they will challenge Finn and Priest at Elimination Chamber. I think that's the logical move.
I think you're jumping ahead.
Okay.
I feel like
that's WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Okay. You might be right.
Like, if anything, I'd have like Imperium win, and then they lose to Bate and Dunne. And that's what you'd have for Elimination Chamber, I think.
Okay. Imperium against Bate and Dunne, and then Bate and Dunne at the Chamber against Finn and Priest. That's not a great match. I mean, the match quality itself is fine, but as far as like marquee value, I think
a lot of people go crazy for it because, like, oh, Finn Balor against Pete Dunne, it's gonna be amazing. I'm not saying it, but some people might say that.
I don't know who's saying that.
I think people in the UK would say that.
Speaking of Imperium, that Tiffany Stratton, I checked her Wikipedia. I was like, she's new on SmackDown. I should know some stuff about her. She's dating Ludwig Kaiser.
It's one of the rare times they don't match them on the same show.
Yeah, right? He's on Raw and she's on SmackDown. How come they didn't put her on Raw? Doesn't seem very nice. They put Naomi on SmackDown with her husband there, Jimmy Uso.
I guess they felt SmackDown needed more women because Raw has a lot. So I get that. But I guess they felt SmackDown, there was a hole there, and they decided, I guess because Charlotte's hurt, right? So there's a little more of an opening, so kind of makes sense.
But it does seem like Jade Cargill's going to Raw because she was on SmackDown tonight, like thinking about taking an offer, but then also going to go to Raw and see what the offer was there. I could see her going to Raw.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think Jade was going to Smack. I knew they'd maybe tease it because they teased on the Rumble, right? Her and Nia, her and Bianca. But I don't know about you. I felt there was a bigger reaction with her and Nia. So I feel that's her match at Mania. I know some people are saying Jade versus Bianca or even teaming them up, go for the tag team titles. I feel Jade Nia is the match to go with.
At Mania?
Yeah.
Is that, I guess that's just like a special attraction match? Jade Cargill's first singles match in WWE?
Yeah. I think that's a good one.
Okay. That's fine. It's a good first match for Jade Cargill, but I do think she's going to Raw. That is the way it seemed, right? Given the little promo
Liv's
on SmackDown
Raw too, right?
Who?
Liv didn't show up. Liv Morgan came back right in the Rumble, and I believe she's on Raw. If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see her, I don't think, but
no, I don't think we saw her on Raw. We also didn't see Randy Orton, LA Knight, or AJ Styles on SmackDown, and they were in one of the big matches at the Rumble this week.
That's true. I like that match. I know a lot of people didn't like the 4-way. I enjoyed it. It wasn't the greatest match, but I thought it was fine.
I thought it was match of the night.
Yeah, I could argue that it probably was, yeah. I also liked KO and Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I just thought the Rumble matches were kind of...
I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I didn't see all the men's, but the women's one, like, there were moments and the moments where it was like, this is bad. So I couldn't really say the Rumble matches were that great from what I saw.
I mean, the participants in the Women's Rumble were interesting. You know, when Jade Cargill came out, Naomi, Jordan Grace.
Good surprises.
Cool. Yeah, good surprises. Better than the Men's Rumble. Men's Rumble had Andrade.
Yep, that very much lacking. But I guess the big thing was, you know, you had Punk, you had Cody. So there was a lot more drama towards the end of that.
Yeah, but we knew. And like I said, first 15 guys in that Rumble, until we got to Cody at number 15, that Men's Rumble was bad. It was like a bunch of jabronis. It was like, who cares?
Yeah, they did a bad job of that. That's kind of sad.
Yeah,
but,
Royal Rumble.
I mean,
I didn't like the Rumble this year so much. Like the pay-per-view itself, it was kind of mid.
Yeah, no, I won't disagree with you. I was kind of disappointed with the Rumble matches, and that really hurts when both matches pretty much like 3 hours combined. So, damn, like that's a good chunk of your show right there, which is not that good.
Yeah. Yeah, when those matches don't deliver and it's, 2 out of the 4 matches and it's most of the show, it's kind of like, well, Antoinette wants us to go to Toronto for Money in the Bank. I know Money in the Bank is going to be in Toronto in July, and she's saying it's sad because there's no CM Punk. I actually have tickets to Monday Night Raw in April, right? Coming to Montreal.
15th. April 15th, yeah.
Yeah, and I was hoping to see CM Punk, and now not. Sucks.
We've really been screwed out of CM Punk the last couple of shows. We thought maybe AEW would happen.
Maybe Dynamite. Nope, not there anymore. Maybe Raw. Got tickets for Raw. Nope, injured. Really wanted to see CM Punk.
Just isn't in the cards, sadly.
Yeah. Sucks.
And you've been to like Money in the Bank before already.
Huh? I've been to 2 Money in the Banks. Yes.
2 Money in the Banks, yeah.
Philly and Boston. I love Money in the Bank. It's a great pay-per-view. Do you think the Young Bucks are laughing after the Royal Rumble? I think they probably had a bit of a chuckle. I mean, come on. Did you see what Cody did? Did you see what Cody did after he won?
The salute
he
thing?
did.
Yeah.
He did. Too sweet. Mwah, one for Nick. Mwah, one for Matt. And then he did guns for Kenny. Mwah, to the gun for Kenny. One for the salute to the Bucks and Kenny after he won the Rumble. Everybody's saying that Cody doesn't like those guys anymore. I think, probably still friends, still cool. I don't know if he would do that if they weren't. Seemed like a signal to those guys, like, "Hey boys, we did it." And then on the same night, in the same match that their buddy wins for the second year in a row, their arch nemesis gets injured and doesn't get to be at WrestleMania. I mean, come on. If you don't think that the Young Bucks are laughing a little bit, sorry, Nicholas and Matthew. I got to call them by their passport names. Nicholas and Matthew. I'm getting on board with that gimmick. It's growing on me. They got to be laughing a little bit. I mean, come on. I mean, if you're a Young Bucks Elite fan, you got to be like, oh, shit, big night for the Elite.
They had a promo on Dynamite this week. I'm surprised there was no reference about like someone getting hurt or something, or watch out for your arm or something. I'm very surprised we didn't get any shots.
My triceps feeling kind of tight. Something.
I thought
nothing.
Something was going to happen.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, Drew McIntyre did like a Twitter video where he's like working on my triceps, and he's like lifting his triceps, and then the video like zooms into his triceps, and they're freaking mad. They're like bulging out of his arm. You're like, what the fuck, man? Guy's so jacked.
That's a good feud. It's a good feud.
Yeah. But the Young Bucks aren't building towards the match. They're just,
Well, they helped on Dynamite. They started building towards their match with Darby and Sting. That was good.
That was a good promo. Should we jump over to the AEW universe? Have we covered all the WWE news of the week?
There was some bad women's wrestling on Raw. I feel like there's another match that wasn't that great as well on Raw.
I was in and out of Raw. Who cares? Nothing really happened.
I didn't like the finish of the Sammy and Drew match. Like, there was a blatant DQ, but they didn't call it the low blow. They're saying, it was inadvertent. That's why. But it led to the finish. Like, what the heck? That was kind of ridiculous.
Where's Sammy going?
Great question.
A lot of guys,
Battle Royal?
A lot of guys don't have a ton of direction. Sammy, Drew, even Gunther, LA Knight, Randy Orton, AJ Styles. A lot of those guys, you're like, where do they fit in? They're stars. Kevin Owens. Where do they all fit in? What are they all doing? It's not like you can leave them off the show or you're not going to put them in a good match, a real slot, because they're all legit stars. LA Knight is one of the fastest rising stars in WWE. He's so over right now. You got to do something with him. Gunther, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in the history of WWE. I guess he'll wrestle Braun Breaker. Kevin Owens just wrestled Logan Paul at the Rumble. Clearly that's not over. There's something still there. I mean, massive star, has had big WrestleManias. Sami Zayn is a massive star. He's been one of the cornerstones of the company and of Raw for a long time. Randy Orton, one of the biggest stars in the history of the WWE. He just came back. This is his first big Mania back. What's that match gonna be? I mean, there's so many guys. AJ Styles, where does he fit in? So many guys that you look at the landscape, it's like, okay, well, Cody and Seth for that belt, Rock and Roman for the other one. What's left? And what's left is a ton of dudes with not many openings, not many slots on that card. So you wonder, like, what do you do? Where do they all go? I think you're going to have some triple threats, fatal four-way, stuff like that, Intercontinental title maybe with a few guys, U.S. title with a few guys, Mix it up. Maybe a big tag title match, a new tag team forming. I don't know. It might not be Truth and Miz, it might be some sort of super team. Randy and LA Knight or something, you know what I mean?
Well, I feel if you're not doing an Elimination Chamber for U.S. title, maybe do a U.S. title ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
And then that makes it easy.
Yeah.
You can just throw in Logan Paul, throw in Kevin, throw in Sammy.
Randy.
You could throw in
AJ. LA Knight.
Do you want to throw in? Why not? AJ, LA, sure. I don't know about Randy, though. I feel Randy would be better in a singles. But, I mean, it's tough, too. Like, you got to throw him in this. Honestly, Randy against almost anybody. You could throw him against Omos, and that'd be interesting. Because Randy can make it work.
I would rather see Randy against Gunther than Braun Breaker and Gunther.
Sure. Yeah.
I think Randy and Gunther would be interesting.
It's very intriguing. I wonder how that would go down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Randy would want to do it, to be honest, thinking about it.
Like, if you want to give Gunther a premium win at WrestleMania over a top-level star, because if they were going to do Gunther and Brock, I think Gunther was probably going to go over.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Oh. Well, I think he probably should have, because Brock is Intercontinental Champion? What would that have been?
We've seen weird things like that before.
Yeah, I guess.
I could see Randy beat Gunther as well.
Yeah. I don't know. Randy and Gunther seems like a good one. I don't know if Braun Breaker needs a big WrestleMania match. Like if you slot him in and all of a sudden he's wrestling Gunther, it's like, yeah, okay, well, why does he get this big shot and all these other guys are kind of lost in the shuffle? Like, why would Braun Breaker get a bigger match at WrestleMania than LA Knight? Doesn't really compute.
No, it makes sense. Well, I mean, that U.S. title ladder match might be considered one of the better matches you see in all the WrestleMania nights. So, if LA Knight's in that, I mean, what's bigger?
He might win, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see LA Knight walking out of Mania as U.S. champion. I think LA Knight should hold some sort of a belt soon in the WWE.
Should. 100%, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I mean, Jay and Jimmy, we forgot to mention that. That's probably a match, too.
Yeah, Jay versus Jimmy. But, I'm talking about the guys where we don't know. And right now there's a ton. There's a ton. Big stars where you're like, I don't know. Randy Orton and John Cena. One more time, pal. Last time ever. John Cena retirement match, maybe?
I don't know about that. I mean, we got The Rock. We really don't need Cena, especially after last year with Cena. Like, I don't think we need that.
You don't want to see Randy retire Cena, end his career? Last one.
It'd just be kind of sad at this point. It was sad last year. I think you got on board with that too, where it's like, yeah, Cena's kind of done.
Yeah. His match with Solo wasn't great either.
It's just time, and I think he's finally realized that. So
yeah, but he's going to have one more. I think he's going to do one last match, like a retirement match, and it's clear to everybody that sees him. It's like, yeah, he's probably done. So why not now? Why not Randy? Or maybe Solo again. I know there were rumors of the rematch for Mania, but
yeah.
Honestly,
like I wouldn't mind like Braun Breaker, but let him build up to that. I think.
Yeah, give it to Breaker eventually. I could see that. Okay, we have a new announced team for Raw, a new announced team for SmackDown. Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, new Raw broadcast team, and Corey Graves and Wade Barrett, new SmackDown announced team. I think the most surprising thing there is Corey Graves is now, like the play-by-play guy for SmackDown. He's been the color commentary guy for so long, and now he's kind of the Michael Cole, the Jim Ross, the lead guy on SmackDown with Wade Barrett doing the color commentary. Yeah, whatever. I'm not a fan of either commentary team.
Well, the Raw team is basically just the old SmackDown team.
Yeah.
You've seen this before, so okay, nothing new or interesting there. But I'm intrigued by Corey Graves and Wade Barrett because it's a different combination we haven't seen before. It's two heels together. I can't remember the last time that's ever happened, so that's kind of interesting to see how that's playing out. I'm looking forward more to seeing how it does play out.
Is Pat McAfee full-time permanently? Because, I mean, he's here because NFL's over, but when NFL starts again, wouldn't he leave?
Wait and see. I mean, they say he's there all the time now, and then things might change when Netflix comes. Who knows, too, right? So, who knows? It's here for now, and then we'll wait and see. They can always get Booker T, so I'm not too worried about that.
Just waiting for that Booker T. I would love to hear Mick Foley on commentary, too, or JBL, one of those guys. Mick Foley, by the way, in an interview, said that he wants to have, on his podcast, I think, with Conrad Thompson.
His last podcast.
Yeah. Last ever or most recent podcast?
Yeah, last ever. He said he's done doing podcasts.
Oh. Why?
It was kind of weird. Like, I was just listening to it. It was like, oh, it's the last podcast. And then he mentions this last thing at the end. I'm like, oh, that's a nice surprise ending.
Okay. Yes, well, Mick Foley says he wants to do one last match for his 60th birthday, and he wants it to be a death match. And he doesn't want it to be in WWE because he imagines it to be a pretty bloody and gory affair and wants it outside of WWE. I don't know if this will be like an independent promotion type of thing done by Conrad Thompson, like Ric Flair's last match, where they promote it as Foley's last match, that type of show. I could see that as a standalone thing. I could see it as part of an AEW event as well, or who knows. But Foley doing one last match as a death match, if that's what he wants to do, if that's his goal for his 60th birthday, I applaud him, and I will watch it, and I will love it, because I love Mick Foley, and I support him and everything he does. He's one of the true good guys in pro wrestling. I hear a lot of terrible things about Vince McMahon and this guy and Brock Lesnar and Johnny Ace, and I go, yeah, if you heard that about Mick Foley, you'd be devastated. You'd be like, no, not Mick Foley. He's a good guy. He's one of the good guys. He's one of the honorable gentlemen in professional wrestling, and I got nothing but love and respect for Mick Foley. So, yeah, good. Have him wrestle a death match in his final match. Who should it be? I know, Johnny North, you said Jon Moxley, which I think is a fun idea.
He said on his podcast, like, for dream opponents, like Conrad asked him that, and he said he had two guys. Matt Cardona, and Jon Moxley.
Ooh.
So then I'm like, well, if Jon Moxley's your dream opponent, I mean, the best place to do that in AEW is All In. And he's already 58 and a half. He'll be 59 in June. So we're really thinking about next year, actually, is going to be that match. So Wembley this year, hype it for next year's Wembley.
Wow. Wembley Stadium, All In, Jon Moxley, Cactus Jack, death match, retirement match.
Oh, it doesn't really need to be retirement, you know.
Well,
just,
whatever.
You know.
We know what it is. I would love it. I think they should do it. I think Tony Khan should do anything in his power, to book that match and give Mick Foley as much money as Foley wants to do that match. That would be massive. And, there's the whole history with Foley and Moxley, and they were supposed to do an angle way back in the WWE, and it didn't work out for several reasons, and they've got a lot of history there. I think that match was supposed to be done back then. To do it now and to close that chapter and to have it against Jon Moxley, one of the top guys in the business, a guy who's going around the world having death matches. I know Matt Cardona calls himself the king of the death match, but Jon Moxley is right up there as well. And I think, Cardona would be a fun opponent. Also from Long Island, king of the death match currently. I think there's a lot you could do there with Matt Cardona. But I feel like Moxley would be the right one. I would love to see Jon Moxley, AEW, Mick Foley, one last match. I hope they do it. I think he can do it. No bumps, just, cuts. You know what I'm saying? Like light tubes, maybe a bump or two, but like nothing too, nothing. No crazy Foley bumps. The problem is, he's going to. Because he won't be able to help himself. And I worry, because I've seen him walk, and it's labored.
Well, you've met him before, and you've seen that firsthand, so yeah.
And this was a long time ago. I don't know how he's doing these days, but yeah, he had trouble walking. So I don't want to see him do further damage to his body. There's that. But at the same time, hey, his body, his life. He knows what he's doing. He's come this far.
Well, Foley also stated this is motivation for him to get into shape, to lose weight.
Yes.
So to help his body, to hurt his body. It's all one and the same.
So we'll see what happens there with Mick Foley, but I love Mick Foley, and, if he wants to have a retirement match, I will be there for it. I mean, not in attendance, but I'll be watching it on TV, that's for sure. Maybe in attendance, who knows? I do love Mick Foley. Jon Moxley beat Jeff Hardy. I mean, who knows? I mean, I do love Foley. He is one of my all-time favorites, right? He's a legend of legends.
Bringing the kids to Wembley. That'd be awesome.
It would be fun. I've never been to Europe. Go to Europe for Mick Foley.
Can meet Andy. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Do a whole European tour. Maybe one day. Maybe, John. We'll see. 2025. It's a long time away. Yeah. Jon Moxley beat Jeff Hardy this week in the opener of Dynamite. I liked it. I liked the booking. I liked the match.
That was fine.
It was good. And then there were some luchadors ringside, and Moxley invited them into the ring, and they came in and started beating them up. And I was like, what is this? And they were like, these are from CMLL. They're these guys. And I'm like, okay.
Sin Cara was one of them, no?
Sin Cara. It was Sin Cara, right? Original Sin Cara or second Sin Cara?
I think it was original, wasn't it?
Original Sin Cara? Famous original?
I thought it was. I could be mistaken.
Famous original Sin Cara was there. Anyway, security came out, but they got taken out by the luchadors. And then some random guys came out to help Jon Moxley, not the Blackpool Combat Friends. It was Chris Daniels, Daddy Magic, Angelo, and Matt Sydal, for some reason, chased them off.
Because they had a match tonight on Rampage.
Against the Luchador Men?
Yep.
And the Luchador Men will wrestle the Blackpool Combat Club on Dynamite. So Moxley, Claudio, and Danielson will face off against those guys in a trios match on Dynamite Wednesday. And Danielson will wrestle. They changed it?
Oh, okay. Because you're saying Wednesday. Saturday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Danielson will wrestle one of the Luchador men one-on-one. I'm not sure who he is. He has a name that I don't even know if I could pronounce. But he's wrestling him tomorrow. Do you know who he's wrestling?
I want to say it's Hurrico or Hermano or something like that.
Hermano.
Hermanico?
I don't know.
Hermano. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think you're right with Hermano.
Hermano? That just means brother in Spanish.
I feel like that's what Excalibur said.
That is a hell of a name. My name. What's your name? Brother. That's a good wrestling name. Brother?
That's not bad, actually. Yeah.
You come out and you're like, ladies and gentlemen, it's Brother. Hey, brother, what's your name? Brother. Yeah, brother, what's your name? Brother. You know, you do a whole thing. I'm brother.
The whole promo.
I'm brother. I'm the most brother that ever brothered. Brother me, brother. You know, like, that's good. If his name is Hermano, I don't think his name is Hermano. Hermano means brother in Spanish. You don't remember that Arrested Development episode? Hermano. I got to find out who this Hermano is, you know? It was her brother. Job thought it was another man that his girlfriend was cheating on him with, but it was her brother, Hermano. But he thought Hermano was a guy's name. Anyways, Hangman Page beat Toa Leona after a crucifix pin counter out of a Samoan drop. Match was, fine. It was obvious Hangman was going to win. Was what it was.
I felt there were some moments where, like, Tona was kind of all over the place a bit. I mean, you kind of tell he's a tag wrestler, but he was trying hard. Like, I can't knock him for the effort because the effort was there. It's just something seemed like, he's not used to doing singles wrestling so much. But they made him look very strong because Hangman, like, barely beat him.
Yeah. Yep. But he did beat him, of course. Wardlow beat Commander.
He got hurt. By the way, it's Mr. Wardlow now. If you got the announcing.
No. Who got hurt?
Wardlow got hurt. You see on the powerbomb? Like, like his knee buckled there. Like, it looked bad. Like, and he was mad. Like, he was, like, slamming the steps and all that. Like, you didn't catch that?
Is he injured, though?
He says he's not. But there's a difference between when you say that and you actually are.
Yeah, well, there's hurt and injured, too. I mean, there's injured where you got to take time off and hurt where you got a sprained whatever and it hurts, but you're fighting through. So, okay, Wardlow hurts himself again. He gets hurt a lot. Didn't he just come off injury?
He did. But you do a lot of lifting. It happens.
Yeah. I guess. Ricky Starks and Big Bill had a sit-down interview with Darby and Sting backstage, and they talked about their match, and that match is next week for the tag team titles on Dynamite.
Should be good. Starks and Big Bill successfully defended tonight as well on Rampage, so it's probably their last successful title defense. Not a bad reign.
Not bad, not great, but they will drop it to Sting and Darby coming up on Dynamite this week. They had a decent Dynamite this past week, but they're setting up a major Dynamite on Wednesday, right? Like, the past couple Dynamites have been kind of but the card for this week's Dynamite is like, okay, they are gearing up for something big. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. They've got Sting and Darby versus Starks and Cass, or Bill. Still call him Big Cass, but, AEW tag team titles on the line. Chris Jericho goes one-on-one with Konosuke Takeshita. Jericho beat Kyle Fletcher on Dynamite this week. And
Fletcher looked good.
Yeah. Jericho didn't look too bad either. I thought the match was all right. I like that Judas effect he did off the second rope to finish. It's good. Was it off the second or the top?
Well, first he did it on the outside.
Yeah.
And then he did it off the top. I felt like, okay, but he did it twice. Like, you didn't have to do it 2 times to the guy. Like,
it was nice.
It's a little bit of overkill. One was enough. I didn't think he needed 2. But correction, it was an eliminator match tonight against Dark Order. It wasn't a title match.
Okay. So they
Makes
beat
sense.
Dark
Rankings.
Order in a non-title match.
Rankings are important again because the rankings are back.
Yes, they have rankings again. So Jericho's going to wrestle Takeshita on Dynamite. Swerve will wrestle Hangman one-on-one with a world title shot at Revolution on the line. And then those CMLL guys will wrestle Danielson, Moxley, and Castagnoli. So you got Danielson on the show. He's wrestling. Sting's wrestling on the show. Jericho's wrestling on the show. Swerve and Hangman are wrestling on the show. And Tony Khan is making a special announcement. Whatever that means. At this point,
not a big announcement.
No, not big, not major, special. I don't know. What are the degrees? Like, is special better than big?
I would think special is like out of the ordinary.
Okay.
But not as good as major. Major's like groundbreaking, I think.
Major's groundbreaking. So it goes major, special, big in the Tony Khan level announcements.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's the way it goes, yeah.
Okay. So we're at
big
like a
like
medium level announcement you're expecting. What could it be? Is it Sasha Banks?
I think it's a lead up to Sasha.
Yeah, right.
So it's like someone big will come at Revolution. That's what the special is, I think.
Could it be that they have signed Kazuchika Okada?
Maybe. It's possible as well. I don't think it's going to be announcing a signing. It's just that someone will appear at Revolution.
We have signed a new star, and they will be appearing at Revolution.
I think that's the special thing, yeah.
If it's just an appearance, though, and it's Sasha Banks, that's pretty weak because she's already appeared in the crowd in an AEW show.
Well, I mean, someone who's actually going to be wrestling, I think.
Someone will wrestle a match, their first match at Revolution.
First appearance, but they will wrestle.
Okay.
Newly signed star will appear.
Well, we'll see what Tony Khan announces this coming week on Dynamite. The Bang Bang Scissor Gang did an in-ring promo.
Oh, yeah, that happened.
It was not great. I did not like it so much.
You didn't like the whole cardboard stuff?
No. Did you?
Okay, well.
You think that was funny?
Not particular, but I'm like, well, maybe Dave liked this.
No.
I guess not.
I liked
I
Deanna
like Billy Gunn.
Yeah, Billy Gunn's fine, but whatever. I like Deanna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie match, mostly because Toni Storm was fantastic on commentary. She's very good.
Stole it.
Yeah. Anytime she's on commentary, she's just killing it. She is really in this character. It's a ridiculous character, but the more she sells it and the more she believes in it, Chris Jericho talks about this thing where it's like, the more ridiculous I am, it doesn't matter as long as I believe it, as long as the character plays it straight, it works. And that's what Toni Storm is doing. I wonder if she maybe took that kind of concept from Chris Jericho, but that is a really smart concept in pro wrestling that Jericho has talked about a lot. Like, he would do these outlandish, ridiculous things, but as long as the character believed it wasn't outlandish and ridiculous, it worked. If the character is like, yeah, this is crazy, aren't I crazy? It's like, the audience doesn't really buy into it, doesn't really believe that you are this person. But Toni Storm is so in that zone, in that character, never breaks. It's working for her very well. It's ridiculous, it's outlandish, but it's entertaining because of that. She says she was in New Orleans and she was handed some beads and they were not to put around her neck.
I see. All right. Wow. You said that on television.
She said that on commentary.
Well, I guess she gets away with a lot of things that she says. So
the connotation is they were to put in her butthole, John.
Right. I know that. I'm surprised that
just
you would
so
say
clear.
that.
Just so you're clear.
I was very clear about that. Again, why they aired that, I'm surprised. But
live TV,
she's very clever with the way she talks, so you're able to get around that kind of stuff. She's done very well, and she's definitely one of the best things they have going. I love the way they've actually just improved the appearance of the black and white, how it's kind of grainy now. I don't know if you caught that.
No.
It's like more old schooly, like black and white.
Mm-hmm.
How like the picture is like fading a little bit. It's kind of tough. That like just the little touches they've added to it. It just, you could tell that they're putting time and effort into this. It's not just something like, oh, well, let's just do this, see what happens. There's actually thought put into this and care.
Yeah. And you could see that she's putting in a lot of effort into it as well. Because those things aren't written for her. Those are prepared statements that she has, some of them off the cuff, I'm sure, but I know she is preparing a lot of that stuff. It's got to be. Because there are lines that are, they're too good to just become. I mean, she is spitting out a lot of stuff on commentary that she's got to have some of that kind of worked out in her mind beforehand. It's very good.
Well, you're starting to get the belief, too, the way they're talking about this, how, oh, she used to be something else, is that maybe she has some sort of, like, mental problem right now. And
she had a mental break because of what the Paige and Ruby Riott did to her.
Yeah. Well, they haven't really elaborated too much on that, but they could really get into that deep with the character, like her seeing like a therapist and like going through all that trauma that she went through. I could see that eventually happening with the character.
Yeah, that's very WWE, though, going to see a therapist on TV. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't think we need that because Toni Storm doesn't feel like there's anything wrong with her. Toni Storm feels like this is exactly who she is. And Deonna Purrazzo may think that this is a different version, but Toni Storm realizes she is her best self at this point. And, I don't think Toni Storm, this character, would seek help because she believes in who she is. And Mariah May believes in who she is, and Luther believes in who she is, so she is who she is. Darby Allin was backstage. The Young Bucks showed up and told Darby how much they liked him and said Sting is just another old man taking money from him and taking his spot and getting in the way and using him. And the Bucks said, once Sting's gone and retired and leaves you alone, maybe you could join us and we can be a new trios team. And how about that? And Darby's like, look, I'm only focused on the AEW tag team titles right now. Don't bother me. Kind of walked away. But I like that. I thought that was good.
I like that they oh, thanks Renee, because they had her ask the question.
Yeah, what did they? Kind of Renee asked Darby a specific question about like how much he admires the Young Bucks or something. What was that?
Yeah, something like that. Like how much do you like the Young Bucks? Something along those lines or something. He's like, what? And then they walked in.
And the Young Bucks are like, very good, Renee, very good. Renee's like clearly been told to say this by the Young Bucks who are in charge. That was funny. It was a good little segment backstage. I like it. I like what the Bucks are doing. And then in the main event, it was Rob Van Dam versus Swerve, and Rob Van Dam opened up the match by whipping a chair right at Swerve's face, which was fantastic. Match. Yeah, it was a hardcore match.
You can do that.
Yeah, but man, the throw, I mean, it hit him right in the face. It was great.
It wasn't the only throw in the match.
No.
Did it again later.
Yeah, that match was serious. I like that match. Brian Cage came out at one point to attack Rob Van Dam. Hook made the save and hit Cage with a bunch of chair shots. Hook landed some good chair shots there on Brian Cage. RVD hit Swerve with like all his moves.
Yep.
All the hits, except the frog splash, right? Didn't hit the finish.
He missed the frog. He missed it. He hit it, but he missed it.
Yeah. Swerve wins in the end. Samoa Joe was on commentary. Hangman came out to the ring afterwards and told Swerve that he can't beat him. And Swerve accepted one last match next week with a world title shot on the line. So, I thought it was a solid way to build Revolution. We had Toni Storm on commentary doing a Deonna Purrazzo match. They're building to Revolution. We had the Young Bucks and Darby Allin. They're building towards Revolution against Sting and Darby. Swerve and Samoa Joe and Hangman are building towards Revolution. But it's a one-on-one match, so only one guy can get the shot at Samoa Joe. I still feel like the triple threat is where we're headed, and maybe Joe will interfere in this one-on-one match, and that's why we'll do the triple threat. But I don't...
You get a draw?
Maybe a draw. Okay. But I don't think it's going to be either Hangman or Swerve. I still feel like it's going to be both of them, even though they're advertising one-on-one with a title shot on the line. Unless, they just Give it to Hangman. Or Swerve. I think Hangman is more... Like, if they're going to give it to Hangman or Swerve, who would they give it to? I feel like Hangman.
Yeah, probably Hangman, because although Swerve is cheered, he's still supposed to be the heel, so I feel, it would be Hangman. But that's the fun thing about AEW in a sense. You think, oh, it's going to go that direction, and they actually don't go in that direction. They go completely different, so it's not as predictable.
It isn't. I mean, WWE's not that predictable, John. We were both wrong with our Royal Rumble predictions, and I'm blaming you for my Women's Rumble prediction because I was with Bayley all the way, and then I was like, I guess maybe Becky will do it. I should have stuck with Bayley, right? What happened? Last minute, changed my mind. Should have stuck with Bayley. I was surprised by Cody.
You saw the story the way I saw the story, and you see the holes now in the story.
Convinced.
So
I was convinced of the story because you told me the story, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like the story. Sounds about right. I should have stuck with Bayley. It was her year. I'm happy she won, though. I'm happy I was wrong in the end. I don't like predicting the Rumble winners. When I'm wrong, it's more fun. It means it's unpredictable.
Well, usually it's a better Rumble when we're wrong, but for some reason the Rumbles weren't that good. So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to be wrong because it makes it unpredictable in that sense, but some moments just weren't that great, sadly. And like you said, the men's Rumble was lacking in terms of interest. So that was disappointing.
Yeah. And again, I think it's safe to say that the WWE is not going to debut anybody new between now and WrestleMania. Anybody that's on the roster right now is on the roster. You're not going to see anybody new. If anybody new comes in, it's going to be the night after WrestleMania. Because at this point, they're making plans. They're setting things up. Unless they have somebody waiting in the wings to do something big at Mania, I don't think they debut any new people. Like if you're expecting a new signing or whatever, maybe MJF showing up, if he does sign with WWE or Okada signs with WWE or whoever, or Sasha Banks winds up, I don't think she will, but I'm just saying I wouldn't expect any new signings to the WWE, any new stars to debut between now and Mania. I think the roster is pretty much set, and whoever they sign, if they were to sign like a new free agent or whatever, I think it would be after Mania, maybe at Mania itself, but I don't think between now and Mania we'll be seeing anybody new. Like we said, they're crowded, and they have a lot of big stars without spots. So why add new stars when you have a lack of spots already?
Well, look at all the new people that debuted, like going into Mania now.
Exactly.
Just it's incredible how much they have. It's like you said, it's too much. And we're probably going to get like 10 matches a night now in Mania because of this.
Yeah. I mean, since the Royal Rumble, they brought up Tiffany Stratton. They brought up Jade Cargill officially. It seems like she's going to be, part of the roster for real. And Braun Breaker. Anybody else?
Andrade
too.
There.
Yeah. 4 new wrestlers since the Rumble. And again, we got a lot of mystery spots for like Randy Orton, LA Knight, that type of thing.
Sami Zayn's back in the mix now, so yeah.
Yep. Sami Zayn returned at the Rumble. How long has Sami been gone? I feel like he hasn't been gone that long, but that's maybe because we saw him at the house show in December.
Right.
And it feels like we just saw him. He hasn't been gone, but I guess he's been off TV for a while. How long, though?
Since December. Early December, I think.
Okay, so like 2 months. It's not like he's been gone for like a long, long time. It was just a couple of months, right? It was him showing up. When he showed up 30 in the Rumble, I was like, why? I don't know. Because I didn't think he would win, and I was like, he's been around, hasn't he? He's not been gone for very long. It was odd. I thought it was an odd choice.
1 month you're gone, people notice.
I didn't notice. Because I saw him in December. I saw him at the end of December. Saw him like a month ago.
You did.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, we saw him like a month ago wrestle. So I don't know. It feels like he's always been around. He did a promo after tonight's SmackDown. Who did? I don't know. Angelo saying he did a promo after tonight's SmackDown. Who's he talking about? Sami Zayn? The Rock? The Rock probably, right?
I would think The Rock probably said something. He usually does. Sends home the crowd home happy. Like,
Sammy.
Wow, after SmackDown went off the air, they did something after The Rock and Roman? How do you top that?
I guess they did a dark match. Because I see Sammy in the ring. Hold on, I'll try to tell you what happened here. But Sami Zayn did a promo in the ring tonight after SmackDown.
Do you know who
The
wrestled?
Rock cut a promo, though. The Rock cut a promo, too.
Okay, that makes sense.
I could maybe show. I don't know. I don't know if I can show this.
Oh, you probably don't if it's WWE. Definitely.
Well, it's a fan recorded.
Oh, that might not be so bad.
Fan recorded after the show? What do you think? Should we watch this together?
We could do that, I think. It's a fan thing. Not official WWE footage.
Goddamn, pal. I was about to wrap up the show, but if we have a promo from The Rock.
Breaking news.
Let's see that. Let's watch that together. Courtesy of @WickedWrestling on Twitter. Give them a plug because I credit my sources, unlike some people. Let me set
And your
this up.
photography.
Yeah, that's right. Put a little watermark on that shit now. Are we stealing my stuff anymore, Johnny? I've had it, pal.
Dave Simon Productions.
Yeah, Dave Simon Productions. Don't steal from me anymore, pal. God damn it.
Is it PC now? You can still do the Vince thing?
Yeah, sure. It's not Vince. It's just a random crazy man I'm doing, John. It's not specifically Vince. It's just anybody, pal. It's just a guy who talks like this and says pal a lot and gets real horny sometimes. It's okay, I think.
Just a random person. That's it.
Just a random horny old man. Okay, let me see what I can do for you. Do we have audio on the Dwayne?
We have audio. I'm hearing it.
Oh, too loud, too loud. All right, let me get some. There we go.
So this is how SmackDown ended. Just looking up at the roof.
Yep.
Yep.
So there's The Rock. Roman Reigns has left. I think he just got a microphone, so the fans are happy.
Well, I'm very happy. Great tank, by the way.
Looking jacked, baby.
Well, it's become very clear and evident to The Rock that when you want to create something iconic and when you want to create something magical, you come to the Magic City.
Like, we're Disney now. Okay, cool.
Birmingham, Alabama is where they are, for the record. The Magic City? Had no idea.
Thought it was Florida. Wow.
When you want to do something magical, you go to Birmingham, Alabama, John. Okay? They
Good
love
to know.
it. They like it.
I got a pop. It worked.
Well, yeah.
Deep in history.
History.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm happy to tell you that tonight, all of us, tonight, we made history here in Birmingham, Alabama.
That is factual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Birmingham, I thank you. I love you.
You might want to cut the music.
Okay. I mean, not much there.
Well, that was fun, though.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if I'm there watching it, you know, like, I'd be appeased.
Yeah. You want to see Sami Zayn while we're at it? What the hell?
What was his match? Do you know?
Goddamn, John. Making me do research here. SmackDown dark match was...
It might be a good indication of what his Mania match might be. Because it's odd. Like, why would you have a Raw guy. Not even like a main event Raw guy. Not like Cody or anything. Like Sammy got the dark match. You wonder what they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. Sami Zayn, SmackDown. Why was he even at SmackDown?
He's in the area, whatever. Who knows?
In Alabama? He's on Raw.
Wanted to go see The Rock. I can understand that.
I really don't understand what Sami Zayn... I'm trying to get information about what the goddamn match was tonight, John, but I don't have it. I don't know.
But
what was the match? There's like no info about it anywhere. He did a promo.
Clearly...
I'm seeing he did a promo, but I'm not seeing that he did a match.
The importance, the talking. Talking is important. The wrestling,
I don't understand what match he would have done. There's a table in the ring. Something happened. Does anybody know?
That makes sense. Backyard wrestling is the best way to send the fans home happy.
I can't. I'm trying to find this information, John. I really want to know now who Sammy wrestled. Nothing. I got nothing anywhere.
I'm betting you it's like Damian Priest, something like that.
But why is that happening on a SmackDown?
It's a great question.
Sami
They're building
Zayn,
for something.
Dark match. This is confusing to me. I'm not seeing it anywhere.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like whoever wrote the recap, they probably didn't really care for the match. Just like, oh, this happened. The match was important, but the promo was because people weren't expecting Sammy to talk. I wouldn't think there'd be much of a show after The Rock came out. Like after The Rock came out.
Yeah, I thought it would be over, but apparently Sami Zayn wrestled another match. I have his promo. I have no idea who he wrestled, but I could show you his promo. So let's do that.
For years and years and years, our generation, the guys that have been busting their ass night in, night out, we have to constantly listen to people talk about the good old days. The good old days. The good old days. Well, I got news for you. Tonight, 10,000 people sold out this building in Birmingham to see the best crowd of performers in the world. So I have news for you and for everybody. The good old days are right here, right now. And I want to thank you for letting me a part of it. And I thank you all from the bottom of my heart, each and every one of you, for being a part of it with us. Thank you so much. We are all doing something special right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love.
Okay, but he also says something about The Rock, I think.
Did he?
Well, this is before. Like... This is before. I don't have the video of it, but he says it's awesome to have The Rock. We're lucky to have him, but you know The Rock is lucky to have the WWE too because we are living in the best time with the best superstars in the WWE. And then he went on to say what we just saw.
Okay.
I don't know what Sammy did. I don't know what the match was. I'm trying to find info on it, but I'm not seeing anything.
Because he talks about back in the good old days, the good times, whatever. That reminds me, like what Steve Austin said to Cena, when Cena would talk about, oh, we have a great crowd, and Austin looked up and there's parts taped up. It's not like a full sellout, but they say it's a sellout.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was referring to stuff like that's been said, probably, and just showing that they're still getting good crowds again for Raw and SmackDown. I feel more SmackDown than Raw, but again, it depends where they go. I mean, you're going to have good nights, and you're going to have bad nights sometimes.
I could see Sammy finding his way into the Cody Seth match at Mania somehow.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Cody kind of stepped into the whole bloodline thing that Sammy was doing last year. I could see Sammy stepping into Cody's thing and kind of saying, you got in my story I'm going to get in yours type of thing. I don't know. They could do it. They could find a way. There's history.
I mean, it seems like Sammy and Drew, doesn't it? Like,
yeah, I just don't know what that really means. You know?
Yeah, it's a good question how that's all going to unfold.
We will find out over the next few weeks. Johnny, do you have a match you want to promote? When's your next one?
It's going to be this Sunday in Laval, 1000 Boulevard d'Avenir. Bell time's at 4 p.m. I'm wrestling my former tag team partner, Bjork. It's going to be a hard-hitting affair.
Damn, that'll be a good match. Go check Johnny North out if you're in the Laval area this coming Sunday afternoon. Go to his Twitter at North Genesis for more information, and stay tuned to the Ringside Report Network. We are always here, always bringing you the best in mixed martial arts and professional wrestling. Shout out to Angelo Contagonis, Antoinette, Leor, Jason Pete, and all the members checking in here tonight. All the members over at join.ringsidereport.net. We do appreciate your support. Supporting the channel, you are the reason why we are here and delivering this quality programming for everyone. It is because of the members keeping us alive and keeping us afloat with the lights and the internet and all the stuff. We thank you for supporting the channel. You are the reason why it happens. And I will be back here Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, with Freddie and AJ for Ringside Report MMA. We will be previewing UFC Vegas Hermanson versus Pfeiffer. Next UFC pay-per-view is until the 17th of February, Volkanovski versus Topuria. So we are looking forward to that. And, of course, WWE's Elimination Chamber coming up on February 24th. Stay tuned to the Ringside Report Network for info on what our coverage will be for that show, as it starts at 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning in Australia. We will we'll give you info, and we'll cover it in a way. I'm not sure how, but it'll be decided in the near future because it's in 3 weeks. So there you go. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you again real soon right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word.
You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at